There once was a squirrel and her name was Lily. She ate some bad peaches that went into her head. She stumbled and staggered home to her bed. And when she woke up in the morning, she said, "Let's listen. Little red, little red, she goes where no other squirrels tread. Squirrel."
Squirrel. Hey, y'all. You need to connect your mic, Jay. Your cam should be okay, but your mic has to be connected. It's saying you're not. There you are. I'm sorry, y'all, that I'm so late. Y'all know me. Hey, Jay.
Hey.
How are you doing? I'm good. Oh, I'm
good.
Just being late as crap. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I'm having me a nice little cocktail. I'm just chilling.
Oh, yay. So we've been trying to schedule this for a while.
Yes, we have.
Yeah. Let me say hi to everybody that's here. If I can. I know y'all been waiting a while. I'm so sorry. Let me get to the top. Violet. Hey, Trouble. Cross Conflict is trouble, y'all, if y'all don't know. Sherry, Feel the Love. Craft Happy. Claire, JJ, of course. And y'all know JJ. She's here with us all the time. AR-15. Violet Witch. I think I said that. Kier, my girl. Did I say Craft? Craft called me on the phone a while ago to check on me. MM, Sherry. I know I'm saying names twice. I'm sorry, y'all. Claire, Jane White, welcome. I'm hearing that song in my head still. There's not a lot talking. It's the same ones, huh? I got some lurkers tonight. Hey, Police Wife Life, welcome. SC Johnson, Cano, my girl. Not a fan of KJ. Hey.
I can't hear anything.
Can you hear me? You can't hear me? Can everyone else hear me? JJ saying she can't hear me. Can y'all hear me? I think. Hello, can y'all hear me? Claire Murphy, Sassy Elmo, welcome. When I get to the bottom of the list,
you can
hold
hear
on.
Me? Oh, I can't hear red.
I
don't know what I'm doing wrong. I have the mic. Okay.
Tell her if she's
So
reading the chat. Tell her to
at all.
Tell her to refresh her screen.
Okay. I'm
Sassy
on an
Elmo,
iPhone, so and I've
rarely
done it through
care.
Twitter. So how do I?
She did it through Twitter. She took the link through Twitter, but she should still be able to hear it if she's in the studio. She can go to her YouTube app, and
Okay.
she'll still be there.
I'll try.
We hear you, but Red can't. I can hear her. I just can't. She can't hear me. See, it says device not connected again. It's not going to look. Connect your device, JJ. Your mic is not on. There's really not a delay when I don't have YouTube pulled up. Hey, Sweet Tea. We're trying to get the sound working. Hey, Laura. JJ, you got to get in the studio before you can go to watch it on YouTube. Get your mic. Let me try to take the link again. Leave that one and do it again. I'll send it to this chat. Tell her I'm sending the link to this chat. Take this one. I don't know why it would be different. It shouldn't matter, but no, I didn't mean to do that. Yeah, I have not been online all day. My back's been hurting. I didn't mean to put that on the screen. Maybe she'll come back in and nobody go, okay. She worked for a second. How was everybody's Saturday? I don't even know if it stopped right in here. I fell asleep. I took a nap. It's been rainy all day. Cash doesn't even want to go outside. He slept all day. Hey, Nene. Who have I missed? Hey, Amber Chick. Is JJ in the chat anymore? Yo, my lips finally stopped tingling. Well, that's good. You nut. That's crazy. Yay. Well, hello there, stranger.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Awesome. I don't know what the heck happened. I just did the same thing I did before, so I don't know. But
Yeah.
I'm glad it works now.
Yeah. Hey, Camilla. I saw you earlier. What was the name of the video that we're going to talk about?
Oh, I have it. Hang on. I have it.
She brought notes. She's well prepared, better than me.
I brought notes,
Hey,
y'all.
Georgette.
I got notes for days. Okay. The actual video is called The Disturbing Truth About the Duggars and the IBLB That Everyone Ignores. And it was done on March 27th.
I wonder if she's changed the names 11 times by now.
I looked for it today and it's exactly the same.
The Stupidity of War.
It's on there still.
She has a horrible time picking names. She's like me.
I mean, this is a really long name. It really is stupid.
I was supposed to talk to you earlier today and get all this pulled up, but
yeah, it's March 27th. She had like almost 42,000 views on it. And the part that I'm talking about is at 1917 mark.
okay. I'm having trouble finding that video because of the way it breaks hers up. Oh, it's not on just her. Here we go.
Disturbing Truth About the Duggars.
With that.
Why do I have an echo?
Okay. Do you?
That's what, MM is saying echo on JJ, not red.
Do you have, in your phone, you might have two apps pulled up that have volume, maybe. Like, shut anything that would use your app. Like, if YouTube's on and turn the volume off of the YouTube.
Okay, turn the volume off of YouTube. All right, let me get it.
God, she does a lot of videos every day, y'all. It's ridiculous. The Disturbing Truth. And she said, what minute mark?
Hello?
I'm here. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Oh, she left. It goes gone. She left. Okay, I got the video. So when she gets back, we'll start. Vice not connected, JJ. That's weird. I've never seen that. What's she having to hit? There she is.
So I turned it off. I
I
turned
got you.
Okay.
We can hear you. I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. I just want to
Okay.
make sure there isn't an echo. I don't want to be hurting people's ears.
Yeah, I think you're good. What time mark did you say? Or do we want to listen to the beginning part or what?
Oh, it is at the 1917 mark. So, I mean, if you wanted to start it at the beginning, that's fine. But the issue that I have is with the 1917 mark.
Okay, we'll start with the beginning, and then we might skip because she bores everybody to death. So let's start.
She does. Oh my God.
I don't want to get any of her intro. Does she do one of those in this one? Maybe not.
I don't
We'll
know.
start.
I don't remember.
Her awkward ass. Oh, let me add it. Oh, share screen. What's your no? I want to let me share. I don't know
I'm
if
so
I want.
excited, y'all. I'm like,
Yay! Let's roll. I'm glad you're here. This is fun. This is cool. And I've got her volume turned off.
I can't hear the
Hello,
video.
guys.
Should I be able to hear the video?
How is everyone?
You can't what?
I hope everyone's.
What did you say? Jay, can you hear me? Oh, no. Ask Jay, can she hear me? I can't get to my screen. Did y'all see where Katie demand and salt starts tweeting? I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can't hear the video that Red brought up.
When it's not playing right now, I just turned the volume on. Well, are you looking at the screen, the StreamYard screen or the YouTube screen? Oh, is she looking at YouTube? She might have to look at the YouTube screen.
No, I can't hear Red at all. I can't hear Red. I can't hear the video.
This is so weird. Does she have headphones? And is it iPhone or Android?
I don't know what to do.
We got you, girl.
It says I'm in the show and that everyone can hear me, but I can't hear Red. And I can see she's talking.
I'm tapping in the chat.
Okay. You may have to look at the YouTube screen. Yes, I do have headphones there. I actually have earbuds in right now. My AirPods or whatever they're called. Okay. Well, I'm glad the chat can hear me. I just can't hear Red.
We're gonna get it fixed for her.
iPhone.
I've never done. Yeah, I have. She should be able to hear it. Is she looking at?
I do have my laptop pulled up too, so I can look at the chat. Should I
tell her to pull up
that
the
off?
YouTube? Tell her to go to
Maybe that'll
YouTube.
help.
Tell her to go to YouTube. That shouldn't affect it if she's got the volume on. She might have to listen to the volume that way though. Tell her to listen to the volume through the laptop. But leave her earbuds in because it'll cause a hell, I don't know, y'all. I'm trying to find us.
Should I try leaving and coming back in again?
No, I don't. Let me try leaving and coming back in.
Go to YouTube, listen to volume through laptop. Okay.
She might should use the laptop to be in the meet with. Wouldn't that be better? Why is she using her phone? She should be able to see every. She should use the laptop
I hear you.
to be in. Yeah, but there's an echo because you got two volumes on. It might be better to
TV.
use your laptop for all of it.
She should be able to see every. I hear you. Yeah, there's an echo because you got two volumes on. It might be better to use your laptop for all of it.
I'm on my laptop.
I hear you.
What are you using the phone for?
Okay.
It might be better to use your laptop for all of it.
Okay.
I'm on my laptop.
What are you using the phone for?
Well,
It might be better to use your laptop for all of it.
okay. Oh, let me get out of here.
Kiara, who calls you every time there's a Red or Charlotte stream? Shut up. That's funny. Oh, she fell. Oh, she's leaving and coming back in. Yeah, I left the internet last night. I said I quit, and I just left. Hey, Yolanda, welcome. Hey, Carol. Rebecca. Monica Short. Hey. Heather McDonald, my boo. One of my cheerleaders. I love you. Selfie Queen. Thank you, not a fan. Did y'all see where KJ demanded Socks to stop tweeting about her? She lost her mind yesterday, right? I think so. Eyebrows, where are they? What are you talking about, Trouble? You want me to put the link back in for your new device? There it is, JJ. I think with some people, they can't hear if they're on panel. They're not able to hear the video without listening to it separately, right? Isn't that a thing sometimes? She might just not be able to hear the video part. Unless she looks at it like with her iPhone. This is all my fault for not doing a pre-meet. And I usually do. While I'm waiting for her to come back in, we'll hit play because this part's like 15 minutes before she's supposed to start talking. And JJ, take that link. I'll send it again. It's in Twitter still, but we'll wait for you.
Having a good day. I am doing sort of an impromptu live, I guess. I have been sort of like in a rabbit hole all day, and not all day, some part of the day. I get into these rabbit holes, and I just sometimes want to come onto the channel, and I don't want to have like this perfectly polished video for you guys. I want to just sort of like talk free-flowing and sort of work through some of the things that I see on a daily basis. And I feel like a lot of the times when I cover various topics, I give you like very high level stuff, and I don't always often go into detail about the different things that we can talk about. And this was prompted because of that list I shared yesterday. So if you haven't seen the
Hey, you're in. We can hear the background though.
Okay, I'll turn it off.
Just the volume of her.
Okay.
Hey, you're in. We can hear the background though.
Okay,
I'll turn it off. Just the volume of her. Are you there?
I'm here.
Oh yeah, you can hear us. Okay, let's listen.
the video I did yesterday, it was basically about like how the Duggars talk to their kids right before they get married. And there was a lot of people that were really like overwhelmed and maybe at times feeling a little bit disgusted by what they were reading. And I would say that was probably how I felt to the nth degree, especially because I was able to, you know, not only am I like sharing this list with you guys, but like there's backstory to that, right? So like I have this person that is a Duggar insider and they are in this world and they have been in this world for a long time and they've been around the family and they've been privy to a lot of the, you know, seminars and all of the different inner workings and the church events and everything. And so you start to realize that there's a lot of people that are affected by the things that are like taught by these churches and by the IBLP and sort of like how the Duggars have utilized their show in order to get people to be more and more interested in their organization.
Okay, so here I think she's working up, in case there's somebody who doesn't know who she's talking about. Just telling people what crappy people they are because of religion. Let's listen.
So the list kind of prompted me to start to look at, you know, it was really disturbing. I was like, this is so gross, but none of this is like anything that hadn't been sort of out there. Like there had been discussions on various snarker boards, you know, like Reddit and Free Ginger about these books and about this like obsession he had with this doctor and the teachings of this doctor. So I was never claiming that this was like brand new information. It was more just like my insider was like, right before I got married, I was provided this list and it was suggested that I do these things. And I subsequently like threw it to the side. I ignored it. I wanted nothing to do with it. I found it super disturbing. I found it really weird. And I was kind of grossed out by the whole thing. Now, this person.
Is anybody grossed out by this whole thing? Sorry. I'm gonna skip forward because I don't like her. And she's not saying anything that I haven't heard of 11 times.
You some things that I found. So let's start. So fun. And if you guys are watching and you want to join, you can join. There's the membership price is super low to join the chat. I think it's only like $1.99. And I just want to do this because there's going to be stuff in here that's going to be maybe perhaps subject that is sensitive. So I want to keep that mindful of this. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
At the public library of all different organizations that have various like belief systems, and it has articles and it has information, and there's a whole section on Bill Gothard there. But from there, here's some warning signs. The leader is always right. Criticism of the leader or questioning the leader is considered persecution. Anything the leader does is justified no matter how harmful it may be. The leader is the only source of truth. Everyone else is lying, and disciples must be devoted to the leader and never question him.
I feel like this is her membership rules.
Yeah.
Don't question Katie Joy. All right, you said 19 minutes.
Yep. 19.
We'll there,
yeah. Like 1917 around there.
We're going to go to 19 because I feel like after this, we're going to have a discussion. Let's roll with it. Where'd it go?
In their literature, like this is just the bare bones of it. But fulfill your responsibilities faithfully and diligently, grow in godly character, practice commitment and gratefulness.
And you just yell stop, Jay.
Stay beautiful. Like one of the biggest things that they're obsessed with is the woman being thin and gorgeous. And this is one of the parts that's always been really concerning to me because there's been a lot of Michelle has spoken openly about having an ED, and there has been a lot of rumors that she has passed that on to some of her girls. Most notably, the one girl that people believe has the biggest struggle with this issue is Ginger. And Ginger for a long time was like the most gaunt. She used tanner that made her look darker to sort of take away from that gauntness. She was seen a lot when she was younger with really baggy, like black eyes. Her hair at times seemed to be thinning. And so Michelle has spoken openly about her ED over the year. And eating, it's an eating issue. So ED, to say it like, so Michelle's issue was with binging and purging, okay? And and they have this really big thing about like gluttony. And it says, let God and your husband know you care about your weight. Ask your husband to help you identify and remove hindrances to weight control, such as unhealthy foods, poor meal schedules, medical problems, or bitterness. Work together to accomplish specific goals. Your efforts to stay healthy and physically fit will bless your husband.
Anything to add there or no? I have a question. Has she spoken openly over the years about that eating disorder her daughter has? Because I don't keep up with them.
Absolutely not. And that's my issue.
I didn't think that they were one to air their laundry like that.
No, Michelle actually did. And I know I read that, but she came forward and said that she had that issue. Now, Katie wants to bring it back to this IBLP, is it? IBLB or IBLP? I don't know.
IBLP, yeah.
Yeah, she wants to bring it back to that, but the issue is it's just not true. Michelle had eating disorder in her teenage years. It was before she was not, this IBLP when she was a teenager, not at all. So this has nothing. Her issue has nothing to do with what that pamphlet said. She probably didn't even know Jim Bob then. So it's absolutely ridiculous. And for her to out someone and speculate is so dangerous. She's, walking a very fine line when it comes to eating disorders. It's something that I want to preface by saying that I'm not a doctor, I'm not a counselor, and I'm not a therapist. However, I have somebody that I love dearly that has the issue and has had the issue for a while. And, she's struggling and so I've had to deal with counselors and therapists and numerous doctors. So what Katie did is so harmful, so harmful. No, she
Let's
said
bring
that
attention to it.
Yeah, she said several of the Duggar girls, and then she outs Ginger by name. That is awful. I mean, I can't even tell you the things that could happen because she did that. It's insane. It's so numerous. Ginger never, for one, if she doesn't, I mean, that's defamation, saying that. And then if she does, I pray to God, honestly, that it's the opposite way. But if she does, she is humiliated, no doubt, humiliated. It's not a fault of her own. Katie says that, of course, she says she had an eating disorder once, because she has everything. And it
She
was
has
probably the
everything.
worst of the worst. Yeah. I mean, I'm amazed at everything that she has. So it really touched a nerve with me that she would do that. See, saying somebody that looks gaunt or that is using self tanner to cover it, that actually encourages somebody that has an eating disorder. They then think, great, I'm doing a good job. I look really thin. That's just the way the brain works. So, to you and I, it's not, we wouldn't comprehend that, but that's exactly what happens. And you can
Well,
even
also, if you say, if we're talking about looking gaunt and having just bags under your eyes and just being really thin, and do we remember Miss Katie when she had the purple hair and she was doing the smoking nun? That could have been her she was describing.
Yeah, no, I mean, it could be anybody. Maybe, Ginger
It could have
wasn't
been
well.
me.
Yeah, maybe she wasn't well, but to say that she was putting on self tanner to hide an eating disorder, it's disgusting. Because if she does have one, why are you putting her name in your mouth and outing her to 40-something thousand people? It's just
Yes.
disgusting. It really is. The date of the video was 3/27.
And
3/27.
I like your name, Sad Fishing. Welcome. Natalie from California. Welcome back. Or, yeah, that could have been Canada. Sorry. Let's listen.
A man needs a grateful wife, so you're supposed to be joyful all the time. A wife should continually be expressing sincere gratitude for the loving provision of her husband rather than continually reminding him of his shortcomings and failures. To develop a grateful spirit, you should expect nothing and learn. You should expect nothing. Do you see that? And learn to be appreciative of each little expression of your husband's love. So have zero expectations for your husband and just be grateful that he literally gives you the time of day or that he does anything for you. I understand there's lots of people here. If you would like to join, here is the link for joining. So you understand from this
I've got it. I'm doing it right now.
The wives are.
Thank you.
I had the trigger warning, y'all, for I had to reschedule yesterday because we remembered it was Emily D. Baker's night and we didn't want to go on a Friday. So I'm doing the trigger warning again.
Yes, please, because it can be very triggering just talking about it to some. But then there are people with eating disorders that want to hear that they want to hear that they're not alone. I'm sure
Yeah.
they know it, but they want to hear it. And it's, I mean, it's awful. What she did, if Ginger has been suffering from an eating disorder, she could push her further and deeper into it to where she tries to strive to hide it more. And
Absolutely.
it's absolutely, I cannot believe she did this. I mean, I've seen it with drugs, where she brings that up. I've seen it with the LBGT. Christians. I mean, she just goes and says whatever she wants and doesn't realize that there are consequences to what she's saying. I mean, it was absolutely ridiculous. My jaw fell on the floor, and I was livid. I mean, I was cursing around on my computer.
Yes. Hold on 1 second. Oops. And
effectively like robots to the man. And it's God's job to convict your husband, not yours. The purpose is not to become your husband's conscience. Wisely appeal wrong decisions and then give him room to fail. Be loyal, faithful, and enduring. Trust in God to work through everything together for good. So here's the thing about why did Anna stay? Because it's not her job to convict him. And it's also her job to have no expectations and not to remind him of his shortcomings, because that's God's job. Or his peers that are of the same, the elders in the church. No one can tell them what to do. Their wives can't have expectations. And this is why the wives stay in these situations, because they are told they can't leave. It's not for them to convict their husbands. And a wife is never supposed to take over. So
oh my gosh, she can never be an IBOP. She's the boss over there, y'all.
Response to pressures within the family or within marital relationship, a foolish wife will take matters into her own hands. When you intrude into one area of responsibility, even with good motive of meeting urgent needs, your husband will most likely surrender other responsibilities as well. Initially, it may appear that you succeed in fulfilling responsibilities, but that should be carried out by your husband. However, in the long run, that decision to exert or ignore your husband's responsibility to meet these needs will do much more harm than good. So this is directly from the Institute in Basic Life Principles. Their website actually contains so much of this kind of stuff. So much. So when you start to think about really what this organization is doing, is it's teaching women that they really don't have a voice, and they, crying, and you're supposed to just be happy all the time. God doesn't like doesn't like ugly, like he wants you to be beautiful and you have to be thin, and gluttony is a huge part of this. So one of the things that a lot of these people are always concerned about is like the kids are always really, really thin. And that's because gluttony is pushed by these groups to the extent that they are so obsessed with overeating or with making sure that the families around the men look good, because it needs to please the husband, like have a family that will praise, that will, like the ideal for a man is that he has a wife that is praised by others and children that are praised by others. So they want to have their children look like they're not gluttonous. They want to make sure that their kids look like they are thin, because gluttony to them is sinful, and it's a sign that there is,
Okay. She I get so mad. Me too. Hey, Tammy Hughes. She is full of it. It's just not this video, but she states everything like she's part of it. God does not hate ugly people. God does not hate who, and who gets to decide what's ugly. The inside is more important. As all this stuff, I can't with her. I love you, JJ. I love you.
Thank you, Red. I love you too. 28 to 29 million Americans have this issue. It's hidden well. You really got to look for it, but there are signs. It's deadly. It's very difficult and resistant to treat. People lose their teeth. They do lose their hair. And at the worst of the worst, their heart will stop. And not everybody that you look at look that is, say, bulimic or anorexic is thin. Not at all. You know, most of the time
Oh
they're
yeah.
not. So it's just so frustrating that she did that. I was so livid and so mad because, I mean, and to name it, to name Ginger instead of, you know, just saying the Duggar girls, which is bad enough, but then to name her and to say that Michelle passed it down to her. I mean, what?
Right.
Michelle was bulimic when she was a teenager. She didn't even know Jim Bob, so she wasn't a part of that. You know, I'd imagine she did say that she got better. You know, she held on to her faith. She got better from that. So I guess it did help her in some way, and it wasn't
Yeah.
due to that book.
Right. And the thing is, you can look at people, like you said, you can look at people and absolutely not know. A lot of people with eating disorders are not thin.
Right.
And it really, it's kind of if correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know a whole lot about the subject, but isn't it more of a control thing? I don't have control of anything else. I can't control what I eat. As far
Yes.
as it's their goal is not to get to a certain weight.
Right.
In
Because
general,
they never will be skinny enough in their
they'll
lives.
never be
Never.
good. Right. Hey, Carol Austin. I think I said
I
that.
mean,
Hey, Aaron.
if you look
There's
at Eugenia Cooney, I mean, that girl gets nothing. Her comments are nothing but how thin she looks. And to her and to somebody with that brain, that's saying, I'm doing a good job. You know,
yeah, so
you
sad.
know, and if you say to somebody with that problem that you look healthy, oh, forget it. They'll, you know, retreat back into it because then they think that, you know, to their mind, they look fat or they're taking too many calories. So it is a very complicated subject. And for her to say that she's an advocate for people or that she, you know, doesn't really want to say this, but then go ahead and say it is so bothersome. She's just a piece of shit. I'm sorry. She is.
Yeah. I'm gonna hit play again. I was telling Aaron O'Kelly asked who this was. If you're here often, you recognize JJ. She is a regular
Me.
here, a good friend. Let's listen.
Overeating and not obeying God. It's also gross. Thank you for becoming a member. And Kim, thank you so much for your super chat.
She brushes right over them real quick.
These women really don't have a choice. So when we really drill this down and we really started to talk about who is the guilty party in all of this, it's you have to start with Jim. Okay. Eyebrows on fleek. Thank you so much.
Oh my gosh.
You have to start with Jim.
Who said that?
So Jim is the one that is seeking out this. And if you look back at Jim's old videos, he actually talks about how he really liked me.
She just had troll in there till her eyebrows were on fleek, y'all. She hasn't got them drawn on. She didn't do them. They were trying to say they look better au naturel. Listen.
Michelle, because she was really naive to faith. And he said like one of the stories that he's repeated so many times is that he'll say, and I have a video about it, where he talks about how he says like, oh, you know, I saw her and I knew she was someone that I could lead. Because he knew that she knew next to nothing about faith. He knew that she would be easy to manipulate. He knew, in my belief, that she would be easy to control and sway. Jim did not grow up like this. Jim did not grow up in this world. Jim's mom was not a fundamentalist. Jim's dad was not a fundamentalist. Jim's sister, Dina, and her daughter, Amy, are not fundamentalists. No matter how many times people want to lump Amy with the fundies, she's not. She didn't grow up like that. Her grandmother did not practice this either and wasn't a part of it. And the grandmother, Mary, was more there because she wanted to make sure that she was there for the grandkids. And there's always been a wide concern with the family about the safety of the kids, simply because there's so many of them. And the fact that, you know, Jim Bob and Michelle Jim Bob has done his best to isolate everyone from them. So when you start to realize like how Michelle really is the first person that he chose, and it's of my belief that the only kind of men that seek out these types of systems. So if you don't grow up in this system, if you grow up in this system, this is all you know. So you can't say that you are sadistic, narcissistic, or, you know, a predator. But if you are someone that's a man that didn't grow up like this and that is seeking this kind of structure, typically the men that are seeking this kind of structure are controlling. They are ABUSIVE. They are narcissistic. They are they're narcissists. They want to have everything. They want to have control over everything. They're control freaks. People that they want. This is the most toxic form of patriarchy that you will see in so many of these cults. And the reason why we talk so much about the Duggars and this specific group, and I constantly get questions by people like, why don't you go into this cult, or why don't you go into that cult? Because frankly, there's not enough people reminding people right now what's going on in this group still. So even though Counting On removed, they don't talk about the ATI anymore. They don't talk about the conferences on the show anymore. They know what's associated with those conferences, and it's purposeful that TLC doesn't include those anymore, in my opinion, because they know that Gothard's name is so tarnished that it literally is, anyone that would Google it would know and see what they're involved in, and they're trying to sort of gloss over all of this and ignore what's actually happening. And then the other people, so they say, like, why don't you talk about other groups? Well, one, because frankly, people don't talk about it enough. Two, it's still not a group that's been dismantled yet. So you can't, like, I grew up in the Catholic faith, and they've already dismantled the Catholic faith in so many ways with all the different investigations and everything that's happened from the Vatican.
Okay, I had it at the bottom of National Eating Disorder Abuse Helpline. If you know anybody that needs help, you can call that number, 1-800-931-2237.
Yeah.
And did you want to speak for a minute when I had paused, or do we need to?
Sure. A couple of things that I wanted to say more, when it comes to things to look for, because this is important. It was very important to me. And what Katie did, like I said, is absolutely horrible. If you suspect that a friend or a family member has this going on, and it can be anorexic, it could be bulimia, it could be exercising too much, it could be not eating regularly and taking out certain foods to where they'll only eat, say, raw food, that's an eating disorder. Unfortunately, it goes in that category. There are diabetics that will stop taking their insulin because then they go into ketoacidosis and lose weight. It's so complicated.
They've turned that into an actual diet now. So that's the thing that it's not necessarily an eating disorder if you diet with, some people can do that, but I mean, that's a diet, that keto thing now.
Oh, it is. Yeah, the keto thing now is, but for diabetics, they actually put themselves in ketoacidosis by not taking insulin. And you drop so much weight within, even a month. It's horrible. My daughter is a type 1 diabetic, and when she was diagnosed, in 1 month, she had lost 24 pounds, and she's little. She was only 13.
Oh, no.
So, yeah. So but there are people that, have that eating disorder brain that tells them, I want to be thinner. There's never a thin enough, ever.
And she was 13?
Yeah, she was 13 when she got diagnosed with diabetes. So type 1, it's hereditary. And when it comes to eating disorder, something I want people to know is that it's not their fault. It's not. It's just the way their brain works. And there are a lot of studies that say that it's genetic, it's inherited. It could be through behaviors that, say, a parent sees a mother do. So I'm not saying that Katie was entirely wrong when she said that Michelle could have passed it down. But what I'm saying was wrong is being so insensitive and calling out Ginger's name. That was awful. That poor girl. If she saw that, there are so many dangerous things that could happen.
And her what is she, an advocate? She should know these things.
Right. She should, but she doesn't. And it's the same thing with everything else. If you think about it, and we hear these stories of addiction, and I have people in my family that go through that, have gone through that as well, and it's awful. But when you think of an eating disorder, people that are addicts, they can choose to not have the drug in their house that helps them along.
Right.
But an eating disorder person has to eat to live. So, it's just so complicated. It really is. They can't push it away. They have to eat.
It is probably one of, I mean, it's the most, not the very most. I'm not an expert. I don't claim to be anywhere near, but it's got to be one of the hardest to treat or I mean, it is to diagnose, because people can say, no, I eat. But think about it. If you have a cocaine addiction and you just have to be around cocaine all day, I mean, you have to. It's just natural. It's not like that with other addictions. You can separate.
Right. And, with eating disorders are the only thing that kills more people is opioid overdose. That's it. Second is eating disorders when it comes to mental illness. 25% of them that have it commit suicide. So it is terrible. And that's what I was thinking for Ginger. It just broke my heart that she would do that. I was mad. If somebody like that outed my family member that is going through it, honestly, I'd lose my mind. I mean, I can be very sweet, but then, I could also have about 110 pounds, and I could turn into a 300-pound trucker in a second.
Me too.
To my family. I mean, so I just don't. She's awful. That's all I can say. She's just awful.
Yeah.
And I said that to her in the comments, and she still left that video up there. Didn't edit it out. Anything.
Did
see
she leave your comment?
Yeah, I believe she did.
Well, it was in the public comments under the video.
Yeah.
Because I see she's turned her live chat off. Imagine that.
Yeah.
Let's listen.
And I think of how I grew up, and I think about like how there's smaller groups of people out there that don't have anyone using their platforms in a way that actually educates and helps people, but also like helps people understand that like what you're seeing is not real. It fits in the reality TV thing aspect of it, but there's so much just sadness that happens within this group. And it's really, the stuff about Josh, people are like, well, why do you keep going back to it? Because there's reason to believe that what's going on with Josh has never stopped. There's enough reason to believe that there's stuff going on in that.
Hold on. Josh is the one that got in trouble, right? Can y'all hear me?
Yes, he's the oldest.
She just said that there was still inappropriate touching or SA going on, and then it didn't stop.
Right.
She's not dangerous at all.
She has not learned a damn thing from that lawsuit. Nothing. She's right on that track. I don't understand how the Duggars have not slapped her with a lawsuit. I think don't.
They're still praying for her. I think that's how they're handling it.
The praying isn't working this time. I'm a Christian, but yeah, you can't go around doing people dirty, without getting karma.
Absolutely. Let's listen.
That is still not okay. And I want to just show you, because TLC sort of acted like they didn't know what was going on when everything happened. So I was looking through Pickle's stuff, and
of course
they talk about having this insider named Sam. Okay, and it says that Sam is a Duggar insider who grew up attending the Duggars' home church. She talks about how Amy and Dina did not grow up in the church, which is true. And then they talk about how, so the Duggars actually, Josh was betrothed at one point. So, how everyone's just like, this arrangement of marriages is so weird. It's really not. This is what happens in the IDLP every single day. Typically, the fathers arrange the marriages. Sometimes a boy might show interest in a girl and let his family know that he might be interested in it. But it's rarely the choice of the girl, because typically what happens is the fathers decide, this might work. They all pray about it, and then they present it to the girl, who is taught to obey her family. And since everyone prayed about it and believed it was God's will, then the girls will accept it as God's will. So thank you for advocating for people who need them, of course.
What is she advocating?
I'm grateful to all of you that have reached out. If you're a former member, are a member, thinking of leaving, this community is here for you. So they talked about how, there was a power struggle. So Josh was once involved with a girl named Kaylee Holt, it's rumored. And there was something that happened between Josh and Kaylee, and Josh and some of the other girls. And
is she moving right on to the next scandal now, or does she just get off topic for a minute?
I think she just got off topic. She's talking out her ass. I mean,
I can't remember. Well, how would you tell the difference if she was talking out loud? I do not have an issue with her saying she used to be Catholic. It's because someone said they're sick of hearing her say that. That's fact. My issue is her ripping the faith apart as a cult. She does that with absolutely every organized religion. In my opinion, she even does it with the non-denominationals.
Well, my issue with that
There's
is
people. Sorry, go ahead. Your issue.
my issue with that is that there are other religions besides Catholic that do far worse. There are religions out there that, you know, kill their wives. Their wives are nothing, they're beneath them. They kill their children in what's called honor killings. So why doesn't she go there? Never, never does she talk about any of the religions. It's, and I don't want her to. Not that I want her to hurt anybody or go after anybody's religion. We're all entitled to believe what we want. And Katie just, she doesn't, you know, it's only Christians that she goes after. And it's really sad. It's pisses a lot of people off too. But go ahead. You can go ahead and run the video.
Let's listen.
The home church that have said there's more than 5 girls that Josh was doing this stuff to. The severity of what Josh did to his sisters was much more extensive than what was even in the police reports, and that everyone in the church knew what was going on, like everybody. So when they talk about it, they're like, I already shared that Josh was at it. So when they found out about it at the church, this is what happens. They tell the church members about it, and this is what Sam says. I already shared that Sam witnessed Josh's head shaving at the home church. Josh was 16 or 17 when he was caught again. As punishment, the church shaved his head. When he first protested, church elders, including Jim Bob, wanted to shave the girl's head, the girl that Josh had done these things to. So the girl that Josh did things to, who was not willing, they wanted to punish her too. But then they said Josh stepped up and went through with that ridiculous punishment. He was scolded many times for being caught with girls, but no real protections were put into place. I also shared that Sam knew that Janet was being promised to a boy, but that boy called it off because he was young and not ready to get married. A couple of the church elders were alleged to have been doing things to some of the kids, both physically and SA, but they say Jim Bob was not really part of it, but there was grooming, and really good friends of Jim's were part of this grooming process, according to Sam. He was not part of that, but he says that Terry Forsyth, who was Austin's dad, would often circulate and look for boys to bring to his camp for free labor.
Oh my gosh. It's like she's got someone working from the inside there, you know, boots on the ground, giving her information. Who is the Sam person she's talking about? Oh my goodness. Are you there, JJ?
I am here, yes.
Okay. I'm sorry. I have to go out on my little rants once in a while too, because she makes me so mad.
I know. Oh, I rant to myself when I'm listening. And I don't even go to her channel. I saw it, I think maybe I saw it through Joanne Cochran. I think that's her last name.
Oh, yes. Our friend Joanne.
Yeah, because I try not to
Down
give
Under.
Katie, I don't give Katie any views, but I went to her channel and had to leave a comment. And, you know, it just gets ignored. She does not care. She doesn't care who she hurts. And, you know, one person every 52 minutes dies from an eating disorder. And it's rarely talked about. It, you know, it's rare. It just is like swept under the rug. And it's so dangerous. And here Katie is outing somebody that may possibly have one publicly. That's absolutely disgusting. You know, every counselor or therapist and doctor says that a person with an ED needs support from a very good family member, a very good friend. They don't need everybody in the community to know, because a lot of people don't understand, and they'll just be like, "What's the problem? Just eat." It, you know, they don't get it.
People, they already feel like people are looking at them, you know, like they're so flawed. Everything about them is flawed, they feel like. So let's draw attention to someone who they've never said, right, this is not something that's, she said they've been very public about it, but that's not true.
No, they have not. Michelle was the only one, and she talked about it when she was a cheerleader in high school. And then she went into remission. See, a person with that eating disorder brain can absolutely get better. They can. But like an addict, it's always going to be in the back of their mind. And some people are able to fight it better than others. You know, everybody's different. So it's heartbreaking that she did this.
Welcome, Annie K. And let's listen.
When they asked about if Michelle was sort of a DV or a victim of the cult, she said, yes, absolutely. It was a pattern I noticed with my own parents. Arguably, he's nicer to Michelle than my father was to my mother, but I think it's definitely been the women are targets, and it's brought into his and he brought this into his propaganda as a result. Her mousy voice and constant meek demeanor is also forced, and it's because he preferred it. One of the boys was caught looking at some images, Joseph, at age 13, according to Sam. They say that Josh went for many girls, but they said he particularly targeted Jill and Jessa. And they said if he'd ever done the R word to anyone, they said not to their knowledge, that they didn't think Josh ever went that far. But it was more frequent and extreme than the Duggars had shared, according to this person. They also said that the church split after they had a huge falling out. So Jim Bob and Jim Holt. Holt was the guy that's running for office, and Josh was on it, and he was supposedly like promised to be married to his daughter. And something happens between Josh and the daughter, allegedly, and then suddenly they have this huge falling out, which I told you a couple weeks ago, last week, that there was a huge falling out between Paul Caldwell and Jim. So there's a lot of falling outs that happen around Jim Bob. There's a lot of men around Jim that have daughters that, you know, there's a lot of falling outs that happen around the Duggars. Jim Bob and Paul Caldwell are alleged to be on the outs right now after a huge dust up at their church last year, according to my source. So they say that physical ABUSE was rampant at the church, that the mothers put the kids on the, like all the kids 7 and up took care of all the children so that the wives could socialize. And it says,
Can y'all hear me?
I'm sorry, hold on. I went off on my tangent and I didn't hit unmute.
Okay.
I actually heard, I think it was one of the children explaining the helping raise the kids. And what does she call it? She calls it
The buddy system.
Something like that, where she's just popping kids out and they raise each other. No. My brothers were 8 and 10 years older than me. If we were going to the store and my mom's trying to get stuff and my brothers are 9 and 11, there was only 3 of us. Put your sister's shoes on. That's a thing. I mean, let's go to the car and load up the kids and get groceries. That doesn't mean that my mom had my brothers so they could raise me later. She is just ridiculous.
She doesn't like large families. It seems like if you have more than one, she doesn't like kids at all.
Or
let's just
people,
be
or
honest.
women, or men, or
right. And it's even
dogs.
worse. It's even worse if you are successful and a beautiful, attractive woman. She goes hard for those people. She really does. You know, Leslie or LB, she's gorgeous. I think she is. And man, did Katie go for her. You know,
Katie hates anyone that she thinks is pretty.
Right. That's my point.
Or that other people may think. Why do y'all think she's after me so hard, y'all? I'm just kidding. Joke is joke. She just, I think, is miserable. I think I'm going to go out and be Katie and make assumptions and state them as fact. That's what I'll do. I think that she don't like people that are pretty.
Yeah, I don't understand how she has not been sued by more people by now.
Well, you know, she has been sued, and it never gets very far. And I heard that the jurisdiction thing is kind of how it always ends.
Yes,
with her.
I heard that too. Yep. I really
red
hope
or
Tati,
children, women, men.
I really hope Tati doesn't give up and goes for her.
Yes.
Josh better after being sent away for a few months to do construction after. I don't think he ever stopped, to be honest. It scares me that he has kids of his own because even after he finished his retraining, he still acted really creepy and off. I think he started when he was about 13 and 14. I don't think he's ever gotten over it. My siblings absolutely hated him, and aside from being gross and creepy, he was also a jerk. Arrogant, self-centered, entitled, could do no wrong, and his parents constantly defended him. So this is actually similar to what I've heard about others in this family. I've heard that some of the other boys are like this. Namely, my source says that Justin and Justin and Jason are particularly arrogant as well, and that so is Jed.
She's trash,
so
y'all.
There's like most of the people that
In my
went to
opinion.
church were into the Gothard way of life. It says, did you see any personality changes back from when the girls learned what happened to them? And they literally said that the girls knew what was going on. They said, I was young at the time, but didn't fully understand what was going on until later and couldn't make sense of what I saw and heard at the time. I think it was heavily sugar-coated for one, but the girls knew what was happening and was at least not, like, they knew that they were at least being violated by him. And they said, I remember seeing them sobbing for seemingly no reason, being upset around Josh. And it says, how much parenting did Michelle do? And it says, let me put it this way, children in the church took care of the other children, even if they weren't in the same family. If there was a baby who needed to eat and didn't have a spare sibling, someone else's older female child was expected to step in and help out. Changing diapers, feeding, general babysitting, and the works. I never saw her break her tone, but was the way she talked, that was like the way that she talked all the time. The boys had general chores just like the boys, not that they ever got done. The bathrooms and kitchen and living rooms were always disgusting.
So now she's saying that their house was dirty.
So it was hers.
Let's go in and have a
everybody
seat on my
see-
couch, y'all. Just excuse the dog hair.
couch. I've never seen dirt like that, dirty water like that ever.
Yeah.
It's so gross.
Let's listen.
And they even said that, like, why hasn't Janet left? And they said, I think some of the kids have autonomy and choices as far as their spouses are concerned. Janet's always been super needed at home, and I think she might prioritize that over marriage. So there's just the one thing that when I was like when I was reading through all this, and this is all on a post from Pickles. So this was posted back in 2018. And I want to just sort of reiterate that this person that
Can I just say, if it came from a post written by Pickles, it must be true.
Pickles is talking to is not the same person that I am talking to, because the person that they're talking to is older and my person is younger, okay? And I know they're not the same person because they don't have the same stories, because my person was not in their home church. But what my person has told me about the Duggars is that the girls still do not have any sort of, like, Jim Bob is still very controlling of them. They told me that Johanna is not allowed to even have her friends' phone numbers unless Jim Bob or Michelle approve. That the boys can do whatever they want, but the girls can't. Like, the girls are so tightly controlled. They don't have the same requirements for the boys as they do for the girls. The boys sneak off with girls a lot. They get in trouble. They're actually, like, in a lot of ways, they've gotten more and more notoriety and more fame. And to their, you know, with that, they've gotten an attitude, according to the people I've talked to. Now, the girls are generally not like that. But again, this is just sort of like what you see with this group. And
I have to take a break or I might lose consciousness from brain cells like an air.
No.
I don't know. I can't with her, y'all. I'm sure her person also lives in her head. I agree, the Amber chick. Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. This is an amazing topic that needed to be. This is some. I can't believe no one's talked about this sooner. I'm sure they have, but this was dangerous for her to do.
I actually reached out to several creators, and I can't thank you enough, Brett, because you are the only one that answered me back.
I jumped right on it.
And I really appreciate that, because it's very rarely talked about, but it's so prevalent. It really is. So many people have it, and like I said, it's swept under the rug and not talked about. And you know, it certainly deserves to be, but Ginger Duggar did not deserve to be publicly outed by Katie. That I don't understand how they have not slapped her with a lawsuit. We don't even know. She doesn't even know if Ginger has one or not.
No.
And if she does, you know, and like I said, I pray she doesn't, even though she'd be humiliated regardless if she doesn't have one, but it's dangerous if she does. So I'm just disgusted. It was also, like I said, with a trigger warning on this live, she didn't do any trigger warning when talking about that stuff. None at all. Nothing.
Oh no.
You know, I'm just blown away, because this is, if she supposedly had that, you know, okay, let's see, how many communities does she belong to? She had an eating disorder. She has been essayed. She was a Catholic and abused by her grandmother. She is a part of the LGBTQ. What else is she? She's
Did she say she
everything.
was abused by her grandmother, or that lady was just
Yes.
me? That's the one
No.
she said someone told her she killed her grandmother, right? Or was it her grandmother said you killed your grandfather?
Yes, that's what it was.
Okay.
You know, and EDs are also brought on by trauma. And it's a mental thing. It's you don't even realize that is happening because of a trauma. So, there's a lot of scientific evidence to prove that trauma, that it can be genetic, and it can also be passed down through behavior
Well,
from a parent.
she's claimed an eating disorder also, right? Or no?
She said that. Yes. Yes,
Mhm.
she said that. She hasn't said it recently, but yeah, I remember when she said it clearly. I mean, I listen to these things, I deal with it, and when I heard that, I'm like, man, that sucks, that she is. But that was early on before I realized what she really is like.
Whose husband is not in the KKK, Vera? Or are you being funny? I'm sorry, but when I look at KJ, all I see is ugly on the not her physical, it's her behavior. Obvious joy in others' misfortune. Absolutely, Bugsy. Absolutely. She loves it. She doesn't like people to be happy.
You start to realize that it's
Scratch.
they will always defend Josh. They will always pick Josh. And so then when you add all of this in, right? So the severity of what Josh has done, you can find it online. You can see it. You know that they misled people about it. He's never gotten help for it. He's never gone to a real therapy center for it. He's only ever done Christian work programs. He's never done like full rehabilitation. He's, to my best abilities, and even the people I've talked to that know him today still describe him as creepy and arrogant and full of himself and coddled by Jim, Bob, and Michelle. And it's just really unnerving, so unnerving to me that, I found that list and then I'm like digging through all of this stuff and it's like, why do you guys keep talking about what Josh did? Because Josh is a symptom to a bigger problem. Josh is still at their house, by the way. He still has access to kids. He's got multiple daughters of his own. He's never gotten proper help for any of this. He's in a system which has designed for women to be victims and for kids to not be believed and to be controlled by their fathers. So with that authority and with that control gives him he has no, everything can be justified. When you start talking about Jim Bob, when the story broke, Jim Bob did not blame Josh. He blamed the media. He didn't blame his son. He didn't blame himself. He didn't say he didn't protect his girls. By the way, he did 4 specials while the investigation was going on with police. So when were the girls actually getting help?
That booger that spot under her nostril was driving me insane.
And she supposedly was essayed. Why does she keep bringing this up? Does she not think that it would hurt the girls? It's like nonstop.
She doesn't care.
Talks about it. No, she doesn't. And those girls, they don't want to hear that. It's almost like, being traumatized over and over and over again. Like, leave them alone, for Christ's sake. Really, leave them the hell alone. It's enough already. But she's making all her money on them, and she knows if she loses the Duggars, she's pretty much done. Every video is almost the Duggars.
Well, it's kind of like for someone who's been the victim or fell victim to so many disorders and crimes and just so many things, you would think she'd have a little bit of awareness of what it could do to someone else that's been victim to all of these things.
Right. Could you imagine being one of the Duggar girls and having somebody on YouTube on a public platform talk about what was done to you over and over and over again? It's
and making a lot
disgusting.
of it up.
Yes,
yep.
And making money off of it. That blows my mind. She is monetizing these videos about sexual assault, and it's wrong on so many levels. Those girls deserve to live in peace. Whatever happened to them, I'm sure they are dealing with it. You know, they're dealing with it in their own ways. Maybe they got counseling. Maybe they've seen a therapist. We don't know that. And to speculate and to talk about what was done to these girls is that makes Katie Joy trash. Absolute
Oh, yeah.
garbage.
And I'll say, as a victim of, in my childhood, something that could be traumatizing and really affect someone for the rest of their life, I'm aware that it had effects on me that probably that I don't even realize this is a result of what happened to me as a child. There are things that you don't put two and two together sometimes, but, and I can go and not ever, it's not on my mind, but I couldn't imagine someone talking about it day in and day out.
Oh, right. That's my point. It's like, stop it already. You know, you're victimizing them over and over and over again. And she thinks it's just, you know, she's so cool. You know, her audience can't get enough of the Duggars. Like, lady, shut up. You are profiting and smiling off of their pain. Who does that? You know, what grown woman would do that?
Hey, Nikki.
This is why I can't with her. I can't. I just, honestly, I'm not a violent person. I don't hate anybody, but this woman.
You'd love to jack her up, right?
Yes. That's a nice way of putting it. Absolutely.
This video is called Disturbing Truth about the Duggars and the IBLP that everyone ignores. And it's got almost 42,000 views. And her audience rarely care is, in my opinion, as bad as she is, the egg her on. The brothers shut down everything she said about the marriage. Oh, what was it? The one that I saw the interview before the other day. She actually asked him, did he think, I think it was his niece, you know how they got married. Like he didn't want to think about his family doing the dirty.
Right.
She's disgusting.
She is. Anything for views. Anything. Because it adds to her money, and that's all she seems to care about, to be honest.
Oh, absolutely. I mean this is her money maker. Who cares if it hurts one of the Duggars? They're evil people, according to her.
Money and attention are her things. I mean, it's very obvious. She don't even care if it's negative attention. Look at her Twitter right now. She's nuts. She thinks she's entitled to go on someone's platform. Who? No, you're not. Emily doesn't have to.
I'd let her come on mine. I got some stuff I'd say to her.
That'd be great. Wouldn't that be amazing?
Yeah.
I have questions.
Me too. She couldn't answer them, but I would throw them at her.
Absolutely.
How is it that he blamed the media for getting a public request where they redacted everybody's names? They redacted anyone that was a minor, and he tried to say that Josh was a minor when it happened, so they couldn't redact it. But he wasn't a minor when they investigated him. He was an adult. And the things that he had done had only happened a few years ago. So was he a minor when some of the offenses happened? Yes. But Sam says some of them happened after, and they just kept happening even after he got better, according to Sam. So you have all of these people around him that are like, he just kept doing it and doing it. And Jim, Bob, and Michelle did nothing to stop it. And there's no consequences for him. He even like in the real world, there's consequences. He doesn't have any credibility, but he is revered in these circles. Revered. That is literally what someone told me. That was from this world. They said Josh has a redemptive. He's been redeemed because he found God again, and he has a testimony now.
She said that's literally what someone told me. Okay. I've never been lied to about anything, ever. Hey, Adam Harris. Thank you for talking and addressing this issue. I'm an adult survivor of a pretty bad SA as a child and had a rough time throughout my life and trying to heal from it. I'm very sorry that you had to heal with it. I'm sorry there's idiots in the world who have no self-awareness or, I can't even think of the word, common sense to I mean, it doesn't take a whole lot of sense. Like just a little bit of common sense will tell you some things you don't talk about. And there's her dark eyes that can see into her, where her soul should be.
Yeah. And you know, when you're young like that and something happens, something traumatic, it changes who you are. It changes who you were meant to be. And for her to
Yes.
continue on and basically throwing it in their face. The Duggars are aware of Katie. They are. They've said so, in um, messages that other people have talked with them. They know, especially Jessa. She has answered and said she knows about Katie and is talking to her father, and he's going to handle it. Now, I don't know what that means. I don't know if she's being sent a cease and desist, or if there's really nothing happening. But they are aware of her. So she keeps bringing up these poor over and over again for money. She has no other stories. And I don't know how YouTube does not shut her down, because there are people that have been shut down for far less.
Yeah, there has. I wanted to see this one. I have trouble eating and gaining any weight. And I have trouble gaining weight right now.
Yes.
In my life, I've had trouble losing weight. I've been 300 pounds. Right now, I'm back and forth between 107 and 115, 114. I can get up to 120. And in 5 years, I might have trouble losing weight again. I never know. It just, it just depends. But if someone were going on TV or YouTube and talking about my weight
Right.
in front of 40,000 people,
Yeah.
I don't know how I would handle it. I used to really not be able to, but before I ever got to this end of the spectrum, where my whole life I was overweight. If ever it was the topic of someone's conversation, I would have just, I don't know. It was a very, very, very touchy issue
Yes.
that I did not want to talk about. I always felt like all eyes on me if I walked in a room, gym class. I would never change clothes in front, but it's just something that now I'm okay talking about because I've experienced every bit of it. And I
Yeah.
think this is the first time in my life, even though there's people who've known me my whole life that just aren't used to seeing me at a normal, healthy weight. And because I'm in like zeros and twos as far as pants goes. But if you do my weight on a BMI type
Yeah.
of checking it, I'm a healthy weight, but people just aren't used to seeing me skinny. And I still would never use the word skinny to describe me. And people have seen me. I'm not overweight. I don't think I'm skinny, but I don't think I need to lose any weight. But I'm okay talking about it for the first time. But
Yeah.
10
And
years ago, if my weight was the subject of a YouTube video, I don't know if I'd have ever got back online. I mean, it just would,
yeah.
I've been distraught.
Yes. And
And
imagine, oh, I'm
yeah,
sorry, go ahead.
no. And I'm done.
Okay. And imagine if you're really sick, and and I know it's hard to imagine what an ED brain is like, but it's nonstop and it destroys everything. It destroys relationships. You become very isolated. So if somebody, whether you're thin or you're heavy, no one should be commenting on that, because you don't know what that person is going through, and it's very unfair. I'm 5'5" and 110 pounds. I mean, my whole family is just kind of bony. That's what we are. I got like chicken legs. And it's been brought up to me over and over again. Now, I do have someone in my family that I love. I mean, with every fiber in my being, that is suffering from that. And I really, like I said, I'm not a violent person, but it makes me so angry when others comment on that, because you don't know. It, like I said, Eugenia Cooney, whenever people are commenting on her videos, she's looking at that as confirmation that she's doing a good job. She's
Yeah.
thin, yay. But if they say to her, you're looking healthy, she's going to think, oh my God, I gained weight. It's too much. I need to lose it. And there's never, it could be 50 pounds, and somebody with an eating disorder will want to be 40 pounds. That's just the way
Right.
it
And
works.
telling someone that they look great, they're a healthy way, they look great. That's not going to help someone with ED. And telling someone that they're too thin when they have an ED, that's not going to help either. Um,
No.
So you can't shame someone in like someone that's overweight. You need to quit eating. You're overweight. My mom used to, and she didn't mean anything by it. You need to not eat so much. Shaming someone for their weight is not going to help.
No.
It just doesn't. And I know people try. Maybe 89 pounds all through high school. And I always heard that how much people wanted to be thin like me. And I'll tell you now that it's easier to be skinny. I will say I used to get mad at people who said, don't call me skinny, or they'd act like it hurt their feelings if someone said they need to eat a cheeseburger. And I would say, I think I probably literally out of my mouth said, I wish somebody'd said that to me, until they did. And it made me feel like a crackhead. You know, I mean, people really will say it in a way you feel like they think you're skinny because you're on drugs, or they think you're skinny because you might have an eating disorder. And so don't be mad at the thin people who don't like being called skinny, because I get it. And I've been on both ends, from 105 pounds to 100 to 300. I was 300 one time. So,
And either way, if somebody's talking about it, it's mean and it's unnecessary. Why are we looking at other people's bodies and assuming things? Looking at someone and assuming, oh, they gained a lot of weight. Oh, they must be eating too much. No, there are medications. There are issues with thyroids. My sister has a thyroid problem and gained a lot of weight. She has Cushing's disease. And people were thinking that she ate a lot. She had a tumor removed off her kidneys, and she dropped all of that and became her normal self. But she was tired of hearing people think that she just got fat.
I mean, here's an idea, Katie. Worry about your damn self.
Right.
Worry about what's wrong with Katie, because I'm sure you get emails. I'm sure you got a list you can work on. And I'm not talking physical either. Worry about how you treat people.
Yeah, and Katie, she's supposed to be an advocate for all of these things. I don't believe it. I don't believe for a second that she suffered with that. And I would never say that somebody doesn't if they say they did. But with Katie, it's so hard to believe because she has all of these things, and they're all so much worse than what someone else has. It's like the one-upper thing.
Right. I have to say, Sassy just said my neighbor lady told me that my face would be so much prettier if I wasn't heavy. If there's one thing you can say to someone in this, I've heard it my whole life. And my mama will say it about someone else's picture. Like my friend, look at this picture of my friend and her baby. Oh, she's got such a pretty face. You might as well slap them if you're going to tell someone they've got such a pretty face, because all you're saying is they need to do something about their weight.
Right.
And it's disgusting.
Yeah.
My face is pretty if I'm fat or skinny. How about that? It doesn't matter what size. If somebody's got a pretty face, why do you have to add that part? It just pisses me off.
Yeah, and I want to make mention that it's not only females. There are males that suffer with it too. It is predominantly Caucasian women. However, others struggle with it too, even males. And it's just awful. It's a grip that is hard. It's hard to release. It gets a hold of you, and that's it. It destroys your life. It destroys your body. It destroys relationships. You don't have enough energy to get up and go to work or school. It is awful, and it amazes me that more people don't talk about it. So I can't tell you how.
The Amber chick wants to come fight Sassy Elma's neighbor. I'm going to drop the link in the chat if anyone wants to come in and talk with me. And JJ, you can just ring of the doorbell.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, JJ. I've got to let Cash.
Okay.
I'm trying to set it up so I can walk away for just a second.
Absolutely. No, it's okay. It's your stream. I don't want to interrupt you either.
No, this is your stream tonight, girlfriend. I'm so excited that you're here. Where did my mouse go?
Me too. I've been in the community for a long time, and it's only been recent that I've, the last year maybe, that I've really been chatting about it. But slowly. I didn't, I'm kind of an introvert in a way, and I probably would have stayed that way if I didn't hear what she said. And I felt I needed to address it. And Red, I cannot thank you enough, because you are the only one that allowed me to do it and put me on here to talk about it. And it's important enough that I felt I needed to.
If I can ask, without you don't have to tell us much information, but the loved one that you have that struggles, where are they at with this in their life?
They're still in therapy, bulimia, and doing better, but it's still a struggle. It is the most hard. If you look it up, you can even look it up. When it comes to mental illnesses, EDs are the hardest to treat. They just are. They're very complex.
I mean, it has to be. There's no way you can't move to a different new city where you don't know people that are going to trigger you being around it, because you have to have it to survive.
Right. And it's not about, it sounds strange, but it's really not about being thin. It's about control.
Controlling what you put in your body, controlling.
Right. Because your life is a mess. You can't control anything else, but that is something that you can control.
Yep.
So, and that's, I mean, I didn't know if I wanted to cry or if I wanted to strangle.
Spit nails. Spit nails.
Exactly. And, I think it was all the emotions all at once.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to hit play and I'm going to run Let Cash Out. I'll be right back. Landscaping. The dentist was 1985. It only pops up with the streams like this KJ one. As far as my neighbor goes, since I moved here, she has no filter. Okay. Let's listen. I'll be right back.
Yeah. And Josh is like a martyr now of like what you shouldn't do and why, if you just follow the rules of the cult, you can do better, right? But even when you do those things, they all like cover things up, and all the guys cover up everything, and there's always an excuse for why it was happened to them. There's never like any valid consequence. And the reason why crimes don't get reported and you don't see arrests is because no one reports things to police. And they are so taught not to trust authority, not to trust the government, not to like, almost to the extent of like, a lot of them would prefer to live off the grid and not even be known. Like the kids don't have social security numbers and they're purposely homeschooled to be kept out of the system.
I have a question about that. Is that true? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
They don't have social security numbers?
I don't know.
How is that
weird?
I've heard this before. I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't like or dislike the Duggars. I don't know enough about them. But what I do know of the abusive situations and, Michelle telling people, and it was very brave of her, to be honest. People usually do not want to talk about it or tell you if they're in the midst of it. And I was surprised that when I put this on Reddit, so many people came out and said that, either they have it and it's been so hard and they were upset at what Katie did, or they know someone that does and their heart is broken because there's not much they can do other than be support. So, again, I hope that it helps somebody, even if they were thinking maybe, their sister, their brother, their child might be going through something, find out, please. If they're not asking for help, try to help them.
Right.
Don't out it to everybody, because then they'll be like, nope, I don't. What are you talking about?
Claire Murphy says, no, it's not true. He could not get tax breaks for his kids if they had no socials. The thing is, he has to have social security numbers for his kids, right? Because he pays taxes, of course, and he's not on a TV show with that many people getting paid. And I know they all say that he's the only one to get paid, but I don't buy that. I just don't.
No, I don't either.
Y'all see my sleepy bed head? This is how I wake up, looking like a hot mess. Oh, girl,
good.
I look a mess, but it's okay. I just woke up looking like this. I just put on lipstick. I won't make you look no more. Okay, let's see here. I'm going to put, I may have already did it one time, but here's the link in the chat if anyone wants to come up and talk with us, and we'll hit play.
So this is why you speak out about it, because the Duggars are visible. And this is what the person said to me. They said, the Duggars are the ones that you shouldn't be worried about because everyone knows who they are. There are families in this world that are not visible, that have 20 kids too, that have dads that are doing way worse things to their kids that nobody knows exist. There are children that have been born into this group that live in Texas, that live off grid, and nobody knows that they have any identity. And really bad things are happening to them. So that's why you have to talk about this kind of stuff. And sure, the Duggars are the focalist point, but they're also like, they're not even the worst in this group. According to the person I talked to, there are way worse offenders in this group.
According to the anonymous email I got, there are way worse offenders.
So, it's a mess. It's a huge mess. The Duggars are a mess. And I, at the end of the day, like, I feel like, I know it is what happened to Jill and others. Only one of the reasons I cannot wait for the Dillers book. I know.
Claire, let me see your
I
pretty
just
face
watched
for
the
just a
Megyn
second.
Kelly interview this morning, and they said that he did go to a Christian base, but he also got clinical therapy for it, and so did the girls. I don't know how much of that I believe. No, actually, he said that he did not like Jim Bob said that he did not trust the rehab statistics.
Okay, I just added some people.
I just
Police
want to
wife.
thank, I just
Or
want to
Claire.
thank JJ.
Hey.
Hey guys, it's
girl.
Police Wife. I just want to thank JJ for reaching out to Red about this, and I want to thank Red for giving JJ the opportunity because this is something that's really important and people need to understand.
Yeah.
You know, the damage, in all seriousness, you know, none of us like Katie. Fine, whatever. We want her to change. She's not going to until she's
Never.
taken off this platform. And the only thing she's doing right now, the amount of people that she's hurting, and I mean really hurting, not you hurt my feelings.
Right.
She's seriously doing damage to people.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, the ED topic, hugely important. And nobody wants to touch it. So
Yep.
honestly, I don't want to. I'm not gonna get personal and stuff here, but I want to thank both of you for taking the bull by the horns and doing this.
Well, you're
It was a
welcome.
lot.
I thank you. I thank you for being here and listening because I know it is a heavy topic, and some people may not realize how heavy it is. And if you do suspect that somebody may have that by certain patterns and things that you're seeing,
Right.
you know, you don't go and tell everybody you know and announce it because it's only going to, you know, make the person retreat more instead of be willing to get help. It's embarrassing to them. It's humiliating. They've done something wrong. But they have it. It's a disease.
Right.
It's their brain,
And
you know, and
you
it's
know,
linked to genetics.
It's like Red was saying too. It goes both ways. I have Crohn's disease. Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I weighed 60 pounds when I came out of the hospital in 2009 with a temporary ostomy. And I had been on feeding tubes for so long, I had to relearn how to swallow. Okay. The condition of them being able to reverse my ostomy again was the surgeon said, you have to weigh at least 100 pounds. It took me over 2 years to go from 60 pounds to 100 pounds.
Yeah.
So my point in that is, yeah, people struggle just as much being, and it's not because I'm a drug addict, which everyone, oh, she's a drug addict. No, I have Crohn's disease, and I could not put weight on to save my life. So it's a struggle, whether you're skinny or you're overweight. People need to realize
think about
that
it,
issues
you know,
going on. Yes.
And
like,
Police Wife, you think about it when you were that thin. Did it hurt you that people suspected that?
oh,
It's
absolutely.
hurtful.
Well,
Yeah,
here's the
it's
thing,
hurtful.
and I'm married to a cop, and you're gonna call me a meth head. Okay, no, I'm not doing drugs. I have Crohn's disease, and I can't eat. And when I do eat, I get sick. And
Yeah.
because of the way Crohn's works, your body isn't absorbing what it needs to. So, I mean,
Yeah.
I literally went through hell for 2 years trying to put weight on. And then you look at the other spectrum, you've got people overweight trying for their lives to lose the weight. It goes both ways. But yes, it's very hurtful. It's
Yeah.
extremely hurtful.
Yeah, my best friend has Crohn's, and she got it when she was 14. And we were
Mm-hmm.
in school. I'm 42 now. We talk every day. We have been best friends that long. And when
Yeah.
she got Crohn's, she dropped so much weight. People were accusing her of being anorexic. It was all the time. And that's one of her biggest memories from school. And that's sad.
Mm-hmm. It's horrible. It's absolutely
Yeah.
horrible. But people, they really need to take a step back, and that Amber chick was saying in the comments too. People say, well, it must be nice to be that skinny. No, it's not. It's hell being this skinny.
Yeah.
I wear a size 0 and a size 1, and sometimes the ones hang off of me. So no, it's not fun.
No.
Claire,
Not.
I'm sorry.
Katie is dangerous.
Can y'all hear me?
That's my whole point, ladies. She is
Mhm.
dangerous, and
Yes.
I mean, she's
it's getting to the point
claiming to
something
have
needs
this.
to be done.
Is Claire
She's
still in
claiming to have
the?
this.
I was trying to. Is Claire still here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, go
Hey,
ahead. I'm
Claire.
sorry. I can't
Oh,
even see all the little.
I
can't even
couldn't
see
see
all
her
the
on the
cards.
bottom there with what was on the screen. I didn't even know
Oh,
Claire
let
was
me
in.
get rid of
Hey,
that.
Claire.
Hi. She is dangerous. Katie is dangerous and needs to be taken off. She's claiming to have all this information on this. Like, these kids are living in the boondocks. They're living in the middle of nowhere. They don't exist. Well, if you know this, then go do something about it.
Exactly.
Like, if I thought somebody was in danger, I remember, and this obviously you can tell I'm not from here, I'm from Ireland, but I'm living in the States. But I remember it when I was at home in Ireland and I just moved into this estate and I was coming home and there was a guy on one of the awnings of my neighbor's house and he was trying to get in the window. So I called the cops. It turns out it was my neighbor's brother. I didn't know that at the time, but I thought he was breaking in. It's like if you see something, say something. She's
Right.
claiming to know
Right.
all of this stuff about everybody. If I thought anybody, even my worst enemy, if I thought their life was in danger, damn right I'm going to open my mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Sickening what she does. Like she just is all she. Listen, we all want money. None of us can deny it. We all
Right.
want the money. But there's no way am I going to cause harm to another person's life. I even I'll tell you, like when I was in college, I had a choice of either doing a law degree or accounting. I decided to go down the accounting route because simply I could not do a law degree because I said it to my lecturer that I could not knowingly defend somebody that I thought was guilty.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
Yeah.
just me. But she's there talking about these. Okay, maybe some of the stuff that she's saying, but she's saying things and she's pulling it out of her arse.
Yeah.
And she does
Definitely.
it all like it. Everything she says is fact. And 99.9% of the stuff she says is not factual.
Exactly. Look what she did last night to Emily and Sauce,
Uh-huh.
accusing them, and then whoa, then Sauce just proved it wrong. Like if I said something, I wouldn't say it unless I knew for 100% that it was factual.
Right. And I'm
Um,
going to go off topic for 1 second because this just proves a point. When Lorianne was going to be on LB's thing the other night, several people were saying, oh, well, after this happens, Katie's going to have to come up with a crisis. She always does. Well, guess what? An hour ago, she's all over IG. CPS is at her house again.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You're so predictable. It's sickening.
Well, here's the problem. Here's the problem with Katie. She is quantity over quality, and she's lazy.
Mm-hmm.
She does not prepare for her streams, and whatever comes to her mind, That's what she's going to say. There's no preparing.
Agreed.
That's why she constantly doxes people, gives their names, because she doesn't prepare. You know, she just accidentally says their name when they were told, when she was told not to say names. And it's,
Right.
you know, I mean, and she just glosses over it. No big deal. And leaves it in the video.
She's all about money, you know, and I'm not joking when I say it. The only thing she is an advocate for is her bank account, and I mean that wholeheartedly.
Absolutely.
That's all she cares about.
You know, like every time she has the worst case of verbal diarrhea that I have ever come across.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
She doesn't care who she hurts. She honestly doesn't.
Katie is live talking about this now. Oh, good, Katie. I'd love to have a conversation with her. I would love to.
I know, right?
Hold up. She's what? Let me
She's
see.
live right now.
Talking about this stream or talking about eating disorders?
Yeah, Shaky Boomer says that KJ is live talking about
First
this
of all,
now.
Beyond, I'm not shaky. I'm not a boomer quite yet. Maybe I am. I think like one, maybe.
If she said the grass was green, I'd check.
Yeah.
Exactly. Tell me the sky is blue and I'd have to look at it.
She's on Katie Live, right? I thought she didn't listen to us.
Well, somebody clued her in, and I'm glad, because she's a dumbass and needs to stop. She needs to close her mouth. She needs to zip it.
She's live stream. She's on IG, isn't she? She's not live right now.
No, that's what someone said. The Shaky Boomer said.
Please God, let me on IG, because I can get on that really quick and easy like.
Maybe she's on one of her channels. I don't know.
No, I just checked both her channels.
Oh.
She needs
blocked
to be
me on
taken
IG.
down.
She what?
She blocked
needs
me
to be
on
taken
IG.
down off of all social media.
Oh.
She's not a safe person to have.
I'm gonna tell you what. It's getting serious enough that like a big group's gonna have to come together and do something.
Yeah, I'm in my spare bedroom because I don't want any of my family to hear what I'm talking about, because I don't want to trigger anything.
Is that JJ?
Okay, yeah. Not making enough insulin, but making.
So what is she talking about?
Insulin? Oh, she's watching me. Hey, Katie.
She better shut her damn mouth about insulin. She needs to stop.
I know,
because she don't know shit.
You're insensitive to
He's
what?
a certified scuba diver. He goes running all the time too.
What is she talking about?
Bored right now with COVID because they travel all the time. They go on dive trips and stuff. So he's been so bored this year because he's retired. He worked his ass off his whole life. And he saved.
Can anyone see the number up in her corner? She's got less than 200 people in there, does she not?
You know what I love about my parents? They're not going to save a damn dollar for me. And I tell them not to. Like, my dad's like, don't expect to have an inheritance from me. I'm spending every damn dollar. I'm going to enjoy my life. And I'm like, yes, Dad, yes. Like, live for now. Don't worry about us. Live your damn life. I love that attitude.
Are they telling her about? She act like she don't watch Little Red. Little Red knows you watch her.
She is so jealous of everyone, she cannot stand it. And she's irrelevant. She's figured out she's irrelevant, so she's trying to become relevant somewhere.
Seriously.
It's not going to happen.
I don't want to fight with my brother about my parents' house.
She's a middle-aged failure.
Y'all, when my dad, we've already had this discussion. When my dad dies, my mom's moving in with us. Because I'm not going to let my mom live by herself.
She's going to send her mom straight to
and it's going to drive me
to the basement. Her mom will be in the basement.
Mama will be trying to run away from home.
She'll have her in the basement.
Well, I would type something, but I would
Does
get
anyone else have a mommy
booted.
that gets anxious about everything? That's just me. I love my mommy.
Mommy, like I hate her.
My mommy don't love you.
She has 20 more people than you in her chat.
She likes to
barely.
play golf. There's lots of golf.
She has
courses she can go to
155.
around here.
I gotta switch out my earbuds, you guys. I'll be right back if it makes any weird
Okay.
noises.
She can go on her walks every day. There's lots of lakes for her to hang
Someone
out
I hope's
by.
recording this. Let me get
She
my phone
can
up.
have her cocktail out on the patio.
What?
She freaks out every time she loses her purse. She's so cute. I love my mom.
I'm sure she loves her back.
My grandparents.
Yeah, I feel like you worked your whole life.
Okay.
My grandparents.
You should spend
My
your
dad's
money.
parents.
Okay.
But oh my God,
Not
no.
that y'all miss me.
So I don't know how old
I
you
gotta
are.
put my phone in
My
another room.
parents are in their 70s. Now, my grandparents, my dad's parents, both passed away before they turned 60, I think. My grandpa might have been just over 60, but my grandma was like 56 years old. So for my dad, we are always so keenly aware that, like, long story short, longevity doesn't necessarily run in his family. So he has
Sorry,
always
y'all. That was my grandson, Joe.
he works out, diabetes, but he takes care. He runs, he works out, he eats healthy. But we've always been very conscientious of the fact that both of his parents passed away young. So we had that conversation as a family about what my mom would do. And I think it's when your parents get to a certain age, I think you have to have that conversation. I think you have to talk with your parents about what they want to do. And we already know that based on my grandparents, my mom's parents, my grandma lived till she was 99. So if my mom follows in her mom's footsteps, and her dad lived until he was 90. So knowing that,
Is she talking about her grandmother that she said was so vicious the other day?
I don't know, but I have to just say, Katie, you're so boring that like I want to call her out and live stream her live stream just to talk about her nonsense, but she bores the F out of me. Let's listen.
more than welcome to live with us.
Well,
Even
Red, let's do it because we'll commentate more than every
This
30
is.
seconds. We'll be fine.
This is her live stream that I'm playing right now. You can't pause a live stream IG. So someone told her she hopped on live streams, but she's already left the topic. So
child's duty.
someone tell her we're here. She wants to talk.
It's like
Great.
Because if I type in her chat, she's going to delete me.
Tell her, hey,
Girl, hey.
I think if my mom's widowed, she'd want to live with me.
No, I
Tell
don't.
her I have on my Emily Baker glasses for her.
To be honest,
Emily Baker said, hey, girl, hey.
at this age.
She's
Now,
jealous. Emily.
interestingly,
And I would like to say,
Totally
of
sweet.
course she's going to have
My
a
aunt-
Hey.
my auntie just moved in with her
Auntie.
boyfriend after my uncle passed away, and I'm really happy for her. You know, like when you have do you have a family member that's like
You can't watch
God,
I
this
feel
from the
really
beginning.
sorry for her mother already.
way after?
I feel
being
sorry
a
for her
caregiver,
husband
like,
and child.
my auntie took care of my uncle for years. He was battling vascular
She'll get
disease.
put in the
I
basement.
don't know if anyone's ever
If
dealt
there's
with vascular
anyone-
disease, but it's brutal.
If there's anyone in my
I
audience
feel
that
sorry for the child. I do not feel sorry for the toad.
no, he's a turd. Toad the turd. If anyone is able to see her live streams, tell her to talk about why she's okay with. Please, seriously, ask her why she thinks it's okay to diagnose someone with an eating disorder and lie and say it's been public knowledge.
Yep.
Because we're talking about it.
Yeah. She
So when
says
you
that it's been on
away,
Reddit.
young.
I don't care where it is. I
You weren't
don't
sure.
care if the
I don't
Pope
care if
is
Little Red
shouting.
stood on the top of a mountain and said it. That don't make it a
Right.
fact.
It
Not that
doesn't.
we're going to
and
get
it
an
wasn't her
answer,
right.
but ask anyway.
Okay, I'm gonna pull it up and I can't pause her because it's live.
Excited.
The only reason why she wants her mum to live with her is so she has free babysitter and she won't have to pay the nurse.
She don't pay the nurse. She don't.
Oh
pay
yeah,
the-
my taxes do. My taxes
yeah,
do.
that's right, ma'am. Oh, Scooby girl, thank you.
True that.
You're disabled adult and live with your
She's
parents.
not
You
gonna
built a
aim
house
it.
3 years ago. And it's
Scooby
fully
Girl said,
handicapped
why is it
accessible
okay to
one story.
diagnose someone with an eating
Well,
disorder?
we
Little Red said that. Why? Why? She's
We
going
want you
to.
to fake EHD on it.
I'm going to. Where's my cam?
She can see me.
Oh my God, Amber Portwood went live. Do you think she's gonna pop off?
I bet she's talking more sense than you are, you twat.
Douche canoe.
Who's gonna?
I think parents, you need to have like the living will conversation. Like we have my.
I
my
wish
dad
Amber
doesn't
would
wanna
hop
be
into my
resuscitated.
live and
Yeah.
let's do a,
Or wait,
what's it called? A table?
no. If he
Round
ends up
table.
Round table. Let's do a round table.
like he doesn't want
Round
I don't
table.
on life support.
Round table.
I want to talk
Red
to Eddie
table.
so bad. I would be so respectful if she would do
But
it.
if my dad lives into his 80s and then we don't have to do this, you know,
Is it
that's
time to
fine,
go
too.
up?
Gulp, 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 gulp.
What do we drink tonight? Everyone take a swig.
I'm drinking
Like-
beer.
Chug a
Barbie
lug,
says.
chug a lug.
Barbie
Cheap
said,
box one.
chug-a-lug.
Chug a lug.
I
Yeah,
should
I
send
would
her a
like
bottle of
Chug a
poutine.
lug.
Go get all your friends. Bring them here.
All right,
I'd love
everyone
to
play
send
with your
her-
hair. Play with your hair. Pick your nose.
I'd love to send her a bottle of
I wanna
poutine.
wind
Has
down.
anybody
Pick
ever
your
heard of
nose
that?
and then swirl it through your hair, Red.
Do what?
Let's see if she
Have
wants.
you ever heard of poutine?
What is it?
Poutine.
Oh my God. Look at her eating her. She's,
Girl,
I want to go live with
Poutine.
her.
Taking forever to connect.
why?
Who
I
is,
don't know. Do
What
you
the
see?
hell is she
She's
doing?
licking her boogers.
Oh, hi.
oh, ain't she pretty? Look.
How's Zohar?
He's good. He's sleeping. He's in bed by like 7.
Hi.
Oh,
How's your baby? He's in bed, I'm sure.
he's upstairs going to bed.
Hi.
You guys remember the story I did like a while ago about flow ride?
Filters?
You can use filters.
Oh. I've never done a live before.
Do you remember when I did the video about Zohar and Flo Rida's baby that
I
he didn't?
apologize if you all just heard my bird swearing.
This is her. This is Zohar's mama.
Yeah, we're in court.
I don't know who Scooby Girl is, but I'm going to buy you a t-shirt.
Cool.
Yeah, he's still in school. They're just in a process of like getting the money from the father. Well, the school understands his dad doesn't cooperate. So, you know, when you understand you're dealing with someone difficult, you can't really take it out on the child.
So they're allowing him to go to school.
Yeah. Yeah. I was able to get him back into school.
Do they pay? Does he pay them, or is he still behind?
He's still behind.
Okay, I just want to, guys. I want to remind you something. Zohar is what, 3?
No, he's gonna be 5.
He's okay. Zohar's almost 5 years old. He has autism
Yep.
and he has hydrocephalus, and
What's
he's super cute. And Flo Rida doesn't have the money to pay for his school, but he took a private plane with Ashanti like this week or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, and is wearing a whole bunch of Dior on his Instagram right now.
Yeah.
He's such a joke.
So Flo Rida did not pay for his son with autism to go to a special school to help with his, because Zohar's he's more on the severe end, right?
Yeah, he has a little bit of language. Very, 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 very little. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he flies private with Ashanti. And now
Katie's like a dog with a bone.
I
She
saw
doesn't
that.
let anything go.
Okay, you guys, I want to tell you a secret. Tell us your secrets about Ashanti.
oh my God. Yeah.
Okay, let me get back to my stream real quick because I feel like I completely just threw JJ out and let her hang out dry. I'm sorry, JJ.
Oh no, you're fine. I'm here. Listen.
But she was talking about when I first got on her live, she was talking about eating disorders, and I felt like she was talking about this. I think I never want to miss a thing. So Scooby Girl is the one that said, why is it okay to diagnose someone with an eating disorder? Secondly, this is another thing I wanted to speak about, and I love her to death. I love Erin, AKC, but she did an upload last night, and she thanked PJ for doing a live, and you kind of thought it was going one way and it went another. Let me be the first to say, and PJ knows, we hardly agree on anything, but we agree to respect each other, and we agree to disagree, correct? What Erin said in her upload last night sent me off of the internet, and I just, a pity me. I was upset because she said that what happened to Charlotte was not cancel culture, and it was not the same thing that happened to me. She said that people got mad at me and left me because of things I did. This is true. People did get mad and leave my channel before Dottie and Shins did that stream. When that stream was done, 300 people were in that live. People left my channel or decided not to come to my channel anymore that didn't know me, that had never done anything to them, that weren't. So if the people who were mad at me for doing bad things or acting crazy or being out of line, I think the majority of them had left my channel anyway before that happened. What that stream did was make other people leave my channel because they heard what a horrible person I was. It was an attempt to cancel my channel. I don't care what anyone says about there's no such thing as cancel culture. They didn't cancel me because I didn't go away. That was their goal, in my opinion, to make no one watch me. That is what they were hoping that would happen to Charlotte. And Erin missed it on that one, and I'll disagree with her on that. I don't hate her, but her channel hosted Tina, and I don't know if it was more than one. That's the one that stands out in my mind. Her channel hosted 5 or 6 people to come on and talk about me and my mental health. And then other people get offended if their mental health is mentioned, or if their name's actually mentioned. I'm not supposed to have someone's name mentioned on my channel, but they can go on other channels, Erin's and Tina's, and talk about me and my mental health. How is that? That whole video, like, I'll be honest, I cried at myself to sleep last night. I was so hurt. I was so upset. But then she doesn't know that we didn't really talk about it. She doesn't know the whole story, maybe. Or maybe we're just going to agree to disagree on that topic. But there were people that left me that have apologized to me since, because they listened to that stream and their friends didn't like me, so they left. And I know I was different. A lot has changed about me now. I was not in a good place. I absolutely agree. I acted terribly for a few months. I shouldn't have been on
You're
Twitter.
a completely different person now, Red.
Well, I'm myself again.
You hear me? You're a completely different person now.
I am myself.
Yeah, but you're
again.
completely different now.
When I started this channel, I was in a bad head. I shouldn't have been on.
I was super proud of you last night because
when I was in Erin's
that's what I'm saying. You changed. Like, I was super proud of you last night.
When I was in Erin's stream last night,
like an adult.
Tiny Dancer came in and started.
You got attacked, straight up attacked, and you took the adult route.
And the only thing I said was, get bent. And then I said, you know what? They're trying, and not just her. That's the first time I've seen Tiny Dancer around. There's a group of people that are trying to trigger Little Red to come back out. And it's not going to work because I'm not in that twisted head anymore. So they can do what they want to do.
Happen.
No, it didn't. I sat back and listened. And then one of the moderators
last night, I'm telling you.
One of the moderators, who's also moderator for one of the people who hate me, made a comment about this is the last warning, but she also threw in, I don't care if you're high or drunk. That was a dig. I don't care. Wow. I don't care. There's no reason to put in high or drunk when she was trying to make it look like to other people she was calling out the ones causing trouble, but it was a dig at me. Yeah. And I just left. I didn't watch the rest of it. I love Erin to death, but if as a friend of hers,
you handled it perfectly.
Yeah, I don't feel like she knows the whole story, because when I made it, we never had a falling out. I just
Right.
always
And can I
continued.
just say that you respected Erin last night and didn't act like a 2-year-old. So you did the right thing. You respected her and you backed out of that, because you got attacked straight up. I was sitting there I was like, and I had even made a couple comments. It's like, if you don't like somebody, don't talk to them. Why you got to start crap?
Well, she went right in there and started. What
You
did she
know?
say? Where is your integrity? I mean, where is yours, little girl?
Yeah,
that you're in
something
the
like
stream,
that.
that you're in this stream,
Right.
trying to start an argument with somebody who doesn't say anything to you. Erin doesn't know, I guess, the whole story, but it's because we haven't sat down and I didn't tell. She knows what happened, she thinks, but I don't think, well, I know she obviously doesn't know everything. And if she was watching what has happened the last 9-10 days, I haven't went after anybody with my lives. I did stand up for Charlotte. I don't regret it. I don't agree with everything Charlotte does or has done, but I don't agree with for a whole month, going at her when she's not talking about it.
Right.
And
that's my issue with it.
if you have a problem with Julie and the way she handled stuff, guess what? So did I. I told Julie to stop. You need to stop, because as much as she thought she was helping, it's not. So Julie was trying to help and she didn't, maybe. I'm not mad at Erin, y'all. I love Erin. I'm not going to be, I don't think that video.
I'm not mad at her either.
I think that video was incorrect. I don't think she knows all sides though. And she said that in the video, she may not. But she absolutely had people, and all of her mods don't like me. Most of her mods don't like me. The night before that, I was in stream and I did not see a mod speak the whole time I was there. I don't know if I was blocked. I don't know. But until she said it was time to go and she was wrapping it up, that's when her mods came out. Her mods have done videos about me. It's because they're Dottie's mods. They've done videos about me. But to have Tiny Dancer come in and start talking junk, like the child she is, because she's a moron.
It was ridiculous.
It was like, what did she say? Why do you not like me? All I said was, get in.
It was ridiculous.
And the only mod that said anything that really said stop, I mean it, said, I don't care if you're on drugs or alcohol or something else. That was a dig, because they're all saying I'm a drug addict or whatever. I left. I don't know what happened after I left, because my feelings were hurt. I'm not gonna sad fish. I'm not gonna.
Hey, yes, it was last night.
It was it was during her live, but I was watching her.
No, but you handled it very well.
Did she play her video, or I don't even remember. I was so mad. I was listening to her upload right before I left. I don't know if she was playing it, but it was just not. I have difference of opinion with her on the way on her views of her upload. I disagree. I think that she doesn't know, maybe. But see, that's the problem. Dottie, Shins, and Rakin can lie, run their mouths. Well, see, that's the thing. They can get on their platform and talk, but I'm not supposed to say anybody's name, or they're going to come in my live and try to take over. Hey, Wolfie.
Okay, time right there. So, right. So time out. You said it perfectly. They can say everything on theirs, but you can't say anything. It's a double standard. Well, guess what? From tonight forward, and you have your mods, you have people that care about you, your subscribers that care about you. As of tonight, mark my words, people, this isn't going on anymore. If they want to continue to attack, we're going to defend back. We're not going to start the attacks, but Little Red is no longer going to sit back and just take the crap. There is no reason for it.
Here's
what's
something
good for the goose is good for the gander. If they want to do it, then guess what? Red has every right to open her mouth too.
Well, here's something that happened last night. Everybody did lives last night. A lot of people did. And when I was live, I got a message that said, Dottie had made a statement that from now on, she doesn't want to hear if I don't remember if it said don't tell me or tell me, but she was not going to engage. She was going to rise above or whatever. That's great. I didn't speak about her last night in my live. I have no desire to talk about Dottie. Every time I did, it was because I was brought up. I was in reaction. So if I'm talked about, I'm going to react to it. I'm not going to lay down anymore and just take it. But being in Aaron's stream last night and Tiny Dancer going in and attacking me.
You were responding to what was said about you. Yeah.
Right. And
you didn't start it. You were responding.
I actually didn't respond in her live.
And I'm sick of them saying that you can't.
I didn't want to disrupt Aaron's live. And I don't think I did. I just left.
You didn't. Right,
Yeah.
that's what I'm telling you. You handled that so well last night. You didn't even fire back. You just kind of bowed out because she kept making her statements at you to the point that I can't remember which mom came in and started hiding those comments so you weren't seeing them. But she fired those comments at you after you stopped. And I'm like, you know what? Right there proves Red has grown up. She's not engaging in this. She's not disrespecting Aaron, which is more than I can say for the other one that just wanted to keep firing at you. But I've sat back long enough, Red, and I'm sorry, you can get at me, but I'm sick of sitting back and watching you get attacked and you're just supposed to put your tail between your legs. No. You absolutely have every right to defend yourself.
I just really want people to know that
you should be able to fire back.
And I don't want to fire back or whatever, but I just really want people to know that there's a backstory that started. I mean, it goes back to when I started, but November and December is when a lot of this went down.
Maybe I worded it wrong. Not fire back, but defend yourself.
Right. A lot of people just don't really know exactly what happened. And I was wrong. I've never denied being wrong and stuff. I've never denied it. You won't hear me deny it.
Yeah, and you've apologized how many times?
And what I heard over and over was, we just want, we love
keep
her and we want her to
apologizing.
change. We love her and we want her to change. But shut up and let me change. You know what I'm saying? Let me do my new thing. Let me do my thing. And if I go back to that problematic behavior, then call me out again. But I don't think I've treated people bad or lately. I don't think I've been that person anymore. I can't go to my friend's channel because her mods don't like me.
You have apologized and apologized. And you know what? You shouldn't have to apologize anymore. You've apologized enough.
Oh, I'm not apologizing anymore.
At this point.
You know, I
don't
think
want you to apologize. You don't need to apologize. You've already apologized.
Where were you blocked, Nikki O'Shea?
Maybe I'm looking at it wrong. I don't know.
Is everyone that's on the panel actually still here?
I'm here.
Maybe I'm looking at it wrong. I
just feel like let it go, because last night I actually did a whole live stream.
I haven't shut up. So yes. Hi.
Last night I did a whole live stream and I didn't talk about anybody. I didn't say anything. And then I go to Erin's stream and her little, oh God, that annoying little punk just starts with me. And I'm like, really? I haven't said anything to anybody. No. Oh, Dottie. Oh, well, I mean, I don't know what happens there. I don't watch her. And what I'm talking about now has nothing to do with Dottie particularly. It's what happened in Erin's stream. And it bothered me because I'm always in Erin's streams. I love Erin.
No, quite honestly, Dottie had absolutely, Dottie wasn't even in there last night. Dottie had absolutely nothing to do with last night.
This is another
correct.
This is another thing.
Nothing to do with last night. So really and truly, she had nothing to say about it.
This is the thing. There are people that are not going to let it go, and they're going to try to keep Dottie in it, and they're going to try to keep me in it, even if Dottie tries to move on. There's people who are going to keep on keeping on. And this has nothing to do with Dottie. And I come to the place and I told everybody, if I don't hear my name, I'll stop. Like, Y'all, it's up to y'all.
No,
We talking about
absolutely
Dottie.
nothing.
We
She
saying
wasn't
everybody.
part of it last night.
Hold on. It's up to them when I shut up about it. Okay. If they leave me the hell alone, there's no reason for Tiny Dancer / Kendra to come into my stream or Darren's stream where I was and be
To
a
come at her
child.
like she did. She came at you.
Oh yeah.
Today, basically, we saw Katie's tweets about Nat and basically accusing her of being the one sending the threats.
Was that today? Or
That was
Yeah.
today. And I would like to know if the people that went after Charlotte so hard are now going to go after Katie, because Katie actually says in her tweets that she believes that Nat is the one who was sending them because they
She
have
even
the
said,
what
same
now?
language.
yeah. She also
Yes,
said that she has proof that Nat has done this to other creators.
I
yes,
need help.
she did.
I need one person to talk to me and tell me, okay, who told that about the tweet from today? You tell me. It was JJ, I think.
Yes, she tweeted today about how Nat, she believes that Nat is the one who was behind sending the threatening emails, and that she, like, as the hacker, and that she has proof that Nat has done it to other creators.
Well, first of all, I want to see that proof. Second of all, does Katie think she's the only person that's gotten threatening emails?
I know.
Shut your face. Which one is it?
The thing is, Saucy has actually stated that they know for a fact it's not Nat.
Yeah.
Because they've actually got Nat's account. And he said that he was actually talking the other day to the FBI when there was another hacking attempt live. So the FBI were able to witness this live in the moment that it happened. And they knew it wasn't Nat.
If that's true, that's amazing. Here's
So like,
I'll tell you something I've heard people question. And this is where I've been in this whole Nat thing. I have not picked a side. I have not made a decision. I have not. Kiera said, okay, so Shins and Rakin, you gonna go after Katie, huh? Or was it never about this imaginary moments where Charlotte said it that never happened? Okay, I was reading Kiera's statement. Here's my thought on that. Once Charlotte did her video questioning that, I didn't have a dog in the fight. It was not my intention to ever pick a side. I didn't care. For once, I'm not involved in the scandal. I'm going to stay out of it. I did not get involved until over a month later. They're still coming at Charlotte when Charlotte's not talking about it anymore. She's just trying to do her content, but she's got people bulldogging for her, yes. But people are still coming at her. So all I did was say, stop picking on Charlotte. Leave her alone. She's going on. She hasn't been. Everyone keeps saying that Nat is not a part of this anymore. If Nat is not a part of this case anymore, why are we still talking about Nat? Why?
And what Katie did today is far worse than Charlotte did on her show.
Yes.
So I would like to know if everybody who went after.
Okay, but wait a minute. Back up.
No, let her finish. Hold on, let her finish.
What happened, Red?
Hold on, let her finish.
I would like to know if everybody that went after Charlotte for her video is going to have the same energy towards Katie now for basically saying that Nat is full of shit.
Well, okay, that's a good question. But here's my thing. If Nat is not a part of the case anymore, Nat shouldn't be brought up. And I
agree.
This is something I saw, and I don't know. I have no clue if it's Nat or hell, I don't know if it's Michael Salty. I don't know who's doing these things. But I heard that the only time it gets brought up is during live streams when it's brought up by people that Nat. But the only time I ever see Nat get brought up is when Nat comes into the live streams and starts on people. So I understand she has a right, absolutely every right to be online. She does. But if she's not a part of it anymore, why are we still complaining about these hackers And
The
Yeah.
only one doing it was just it was her, Katie, today, bringing up all this thing about Nat. Like that, she's not been spoken in the case, but it was the same last night. She did the same thing, bringing up
she's
like
making
all of this with
right.
Emily and Salt.
Yeah.
Katie does.
Yep.
Katie wants the attention.
Mhm.
She
Right.
hungers for attention. She's obviously not getting it home because who'd mount her? Nobody. That's why her husband doesn't touch her.
I mean,
You know?
like let Nat have her peace, right? Katie, leave her alone.
Exactly.
And the hacker, I'm this is the only thing I do have an opinion about for sure. I'm not sure that the same hackers that were in the beginning when Nat first was outed as being a witness or whatever, I'm not sure it's the same hackers now as it was then. Because they're literally coming into people's live streams. And I mean, why is it even relevant now? You see what I'm saying?
Because I think Katie's shitless that it's actually going to, it's hit her now that it may well be filed again in Minnesota. And now she's probably realizing that it's worse for her in Minnesota because of the way the cyber laws are. And now she's trying to discredit. She's basically spent the last 24 hours trying to discredit Emily, Salt, Nat, Lorianne, basically
But
trying to get
Lorianne,
boo-hoo, look at me, oh boo-hoo, I'm
Yep.
being so hard done by.
but
And
Lorianne's absolutely not going to be a part of any case in Minnesota. Period.
no,
She's not.
exactly.
And
But
Nat may not be either. So why is Nat even a subject?
because they both may be, because Katie mentioned the sanctions again today, that they had to bring sanctions against Salty because of his behavior, right? The thing is, if the sanctions go ahead, both Natalie and Lorianne will both be brought into it. They're going to be witnesses in that because they're going to have to talk about their declarations, why they made it, how it was done, all that sort of thing to try and prove the lies that Katie has been telling. That's why. So they won't be part of the defamation case going forward, but they will be part of the sanctions if that goes ahead.
I see in the chat, why is Nat even a subject anymore? That's my thing. Nat is in Dottie's streams now and was that night. She's been in, I mean, they're friends now. She's made friends with people and she wants to go in their streams. Let her go in their streams. That's fine. People, if she's not a part of the case, why is Katie Joy keep bringing her up? Why are people still fighting over her? What is that? Someone said they were on Katie's channel and it was their Twitter and it was there today. Which one is it? Because I've got it pulled up and I don't know which one. It was yesterday, 12 hours ago. Good morning to the haters that are mad I don't go live and lose it on Instagram or YouTube. Sorry, it's not going to happen. Please stop accusing me. I hear your snack. I don't know who it is. Please stop.
Sorry.
It's okay. Please stop accusing me of crimes. I have not hacked anyone, hired hackers, used trolls, or anything else. I'm growing scared for my safety because of the continued accusations and death threats I've received from anonymous people. Okay, she's not the only one that's received those. Can I just say the last 4 times I've been in a live that the hacker showed up, people were making fun of them in the live. Like they're not even taken seriously at this point because it's ridiculous, in my opinion.
Yeah, we saw that in Aaron's stream.
Yeah, that's the one. And they went the stream that I did where I said this is why I'm taking up for Charlotte.
Yeah.
They came from Aaron's stream to mine, one with my name, my first name and last initial. And I mean, we were making fun of them. So
Red, if you look in the tweets and reply section, you'll see the 10 tweets that she did today.
Oh yeah, she was on a roll.
Oh, she just, like, honestly, she must have been drinking out of the toilet bowl that she was that full of diarrhea.
Who had a catastrophic heart attack?
BMX.
Oh, okay. I'm looking. I want peace in my life. I'm at my breaking point. Please let me be. You have my lawyer's number.
Open that, and then you'll see the start of it.
Let's see here.
Go to the top.
Michael Saltz, Esquire. I'm demanding that you stop tweeting about me or at me. I'm demanding. Who's eating? Let's mute. That's it. I'm just gonna mute because it's loud. I'm sorry. No, don't be offended. I had to mute myself while ago because I was snacking too. Please stop accusing me of crimes. I have not hacked anyone, hired hackers, used trolls, or anything else. I am growing scared for my safety because of continued accusations and death threats I've received from anonymous. I lost my people demanding info, or I or my son will be offed. I want peace in my life. I'm at a breaking point. I read that one. If she might be getting emails that I haven't seen, but the hackers that are coming into our live streams are not this. They're not scary anymore. What did I just do? Y'all. I can't unmute the people. Well, yeah, I can. Okay, sorry. Okay, y'all are back.
Do you know what I think is happening? She's probably sending the emails to herself when she's drunk, and then the following day she sees them and forgets that she sent them to herself.
Stop it. She said, "Oh, and she's tagging Kev in all of these." Who is her, in my opinion?
Oh, I mean,
we filed sanctions because of abusive behavior and the fact that the declaration by Lori was completely false. We had no idea of if the judge was going to dismiss the case, and we had to assume she wouldn't. So the sanctions motion wasn't an error, and we can refile it anytime. She can refile it even though there's no case, right? Contrary to popular belief, the amount of harassment I received as a result of his engagement on Twitter was why I always having to speak out. I was routinely being accused of crimes I didn't commit by him, which is why we had to get the judge involved. All she had to do was not. If she'd have shut up, there wouldn't. Oh my gosh.
Falsey never accused her of crimes.
No. Also, I should know it was not our side that brought in these needless declarations. Yes, it was. Nor did we use troll accounts to supply as evidence. He did. Yes, he did. He went to her community on Twitter, the community that's all about her, and said, "Send me stuff." But Saltz routinely engaged with troll accounts, which is why the judge told him to stop their inappropriate. She didn't tell him. She said everyone, which included Katie Joy. Stop.
Exactly.
And he wasn't engaging in troll accounts. Just because they don't like you, Katie, doesn't mean they're trolls. My attorney argued to the court that it was. Why is she doing this today? It wasn't a coincidence that all the sock accounts had names that were also known alters. That these accounts had the same grammatical errors, and the threats only started when she became involved.
That's not true. There was no mention of that in the meeting between Saltz Brown and the judge. The thing that Brown did was tell the judge that I'm reading verbatim from the declaration, blah blah blah. It was proven afterwards that Brown lied to the judge, that he wasn't. He made up what he was claiming. So what she's lying there. So that would never happen.
Yeah. Hold on with that. I'm trying to email. I'm getting emails about what I'm saying on the live, but I don't know if they're in the stream. I just wonder. Okay. And it's hard for me to read the emails while I'm live. I feel like we went all sideways and got off topic. Okay, someone's going to come in.
I mean, her side filed for something that was abolished 9 years ago.
Dan?
I honestly feel like it should be a crime for like.
It should. Like, the more you adjourn a court date, because that's what they do a lot. They adjourn it, they adjourn it, they adjourn it. There's so many times where he adjourned the court date the same day. So it's like, you're kind of making it difficult for me to have a regular job as well.
Right.
Because how am I going to keep on calling out of work for a court appearance and then last minute you adjourn it?
Well, and then he knows that your son has such high needs.
Yeah, he knows it. I mean, he's the ambassador of Children's Hospital.
Right.
He's very aware of medical conditions.
And it's not even just it's not even just his medical condition. It's just that he has a higher level of autism that requires more. And
that's a lot on everybody. Like, even with babysitters, sometimes babysitters don't last because Zohar takes up a lot of work.
Right.
It's not like you're like, oh, sit down, Zohar.
Oh my God, Amber Port was live. Is she live about Katie too?
Sure that
I can't keep up, y'all.
Zohar doesn't even have really good balance. So there's a lot of times Zohar may wobble or fall.
Does anybody know? I can't keep up. Hello? Y'all can't hear me?
Yeah. No, we hear you.
I'm just curious. I doubt Amber's talking about Katie. Let's see.
Myself. James is amazing.
She's not talking about Katie. She could care less. Katie's a loser.
This.
Right? Where's she talking about Katie?
Nothing wrong with anything. Soon. My release date is soon. Thank you for supporting me. The numbers need to drop down. I need y'all to go. Drop down. Supporters only, love only. Numbers need to drop.
She got 1,500 people watching her.
I don't want you. Go on. That's the one thing I don't even care. I don't buy followers.
I feel really bad. She's got problems. We know that, but I do have sympathy. I feel bad for her sometimes.
Yeah, so thank God he doesn't have that, but he
okay, so these people are boring.
My
y'all.
Instagram videos are only an hour long.
Oh, they are?
Yes. I'm gonna turn this off and then I'll turn it back on. So come back on and we can continue. Okay.
That
what do you want
mother
to watch? Tell me.
That mother is not doing her custody battle any favors, because you should not be speaking publicly about a custody issue like that, because it can be used against her. Because it can be said, what were you doing talking to this person about it? What were you doing? Like, you don't know what anybody spends their money on.
Oh, she ended that one on accident. Okay, she ended it, but she'll be back, I'm sure.
Like a bad smell.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Natalie fabricated our only interaction on Instagram. I spoke to her literally one time for like 5 minutes. She had continually lied about our relationship, claiming we were best friends. FaceTimed all the time. She spread malicious lies and about me, knowing we've never been friends. I believe Katie's never been friends with anybody. Lori admitted in her interview with Leslie that she lied. People need to stop giving people like Lori and Nat platforms. Natalie has a history of claiming death threats. She's done this to other creators. She doctored evidence. But she doesn't matter because she's not part of the case anymore. So good for you, right? I mean, she's not supposed to be part of the case anymore.
No, she's not. But, she's still being accused now by Katie of being the person who has, done these threats. So I hope there's some sort of outrage towards Katie because of it. Because God knows Charlotte got enough.
Hey, Elliot's Webb, my little artist, is here who made emojis for so many channels. I hope I can give you a little shout out, Elliot. If not, it's too late. Sorry. I think all that is happening due to the negotiations with Toddy since the Washington case was dismissed due to jurisdiction. She is breaking down and discrediting the people in the case on YouTube. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. That's all I can say.
She's doing her best to try and sway public opinion back to her. Public opinion will never win. Ever.
The public opinion is she sucks, in my opinion.
Exactly. But she's saying, like, okay, last night she said that she lost in public opinion. Yeah, she did. She lose that no matter what. No matter what, she opens her mouth and she'll lose. Can you imagine her up in court,
Oh,
turning around and
this person must be someone big. Who is this lady's ex? They're like, do you not know who her ex is? Is that
that's
Flo
Flo
Rida?
Rida? Flo Rida. He's some
Flo Rida's
DJ.
a rapper.
Yeah, a rapper. That's it.
Oh wow.
He sings the
I did
apple
not know
bottom
that.
jeans song.
Yeah, apple bottom jeans. Yeah,
Yep.
I know him.
Never heard of him before.
Yeah, he was
So
pretty.
he can't be. He
popular.
can't be that good.
No, he's famous. He's famous as hell.
Really?
Yeah, Flo
No.
Rida. Yeah.
Not in my world. So no, he's not.
Where are you at?
Oh, I'm in the States, but if I don't know it, then he's not worth knowing.
Okay. Do you like rap? I mean, he was. I know the name. I can't name all of the songs, but I'm old. You know.
He was more hip hop, I think, than even really a rapper.
Yeah. See, I don't even know the difference.
That song was so popular too.
Yeah, it really was. Katie just. How did she? I don't know. I'm at a loss. I've got a whole lot. I've not been watching the chat like I should, and I need to be. I've got someone coming in, making everyone feel uncomfortable with it.
Well, y'all, I gotta go to bed. My husband and my 3 poodles are waiting for me.
Woo! Lucky hubby.
I know.
Don't brag about us. Not us, Some of us are single.
He said he wants to give me a massage too, so
Elliot,
I got
Get the
to
strawberries
go.
and cream then.
let me find my
We'll
live.
see. You never know.
Elliot, would you like? I'm going to ask you before I won't do it if you don't want. Would you like to put your art YouTube channel link in the description or in the chat box so people can follow you? If not, if it's not ready yet, that is totally understandable. I never liked Flo Rida. I was not feeling his vibe. I like good rappers, and I didn't care for that era. I mean, it's not for everyone. She hit the 4, baby got low, low, low. That song, yeah. The boots with the fur, y'all.
Yeah.
Boots with the fur.
That's so funny. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much, Red, for having me on. I really do appreciate it. You've been awesome. It was something that I really just wanted to say, and you were the one to let me
Thank
on
you
your
so much
platform
for
to do it.
coming. Thank you so much for coming. More people need to talk about it.
Exactly. To keep talking about it. It's not shameful. I suffered from when I was younger, and as I said, COVID hit, and I felt myself going down again. And I thought, no. Thankfully, I was strong enough to be able to pull myself before I sunk.
Yes, right. And if anybody knows anybody, the number's 1-800-931-2237 is the National Eating Disorders Helpline. There are people that will listen.
Yeah, absolutely.
To be honest with you, I think it's easier nowadays to speak with issues like this that are mental health related, whereas like 10, 15, even 20 years ago, you were taboo.
Right.
It was totally taboo.
It was like it was your fault. It was
exactly.
Your fault
like there must be something wrong with you, or like, I know in Ireland, like I was basically known like by my parents, she was the bad seed, you know? Yes. And because I was the eldest, well, at least we have the others now, we can throw away her kind of thing. I was the mistake, like. So,
yeah,
and
it's that tough. And I completely understand that. 10, 15, 20 years ago, it was looked at as like, what the hell is wrong with you? Just eat a meal. It's that simple.
Yeah.
So
Like
I get it.
I remember, like my father couldn't understand. I remember coming home from school one evening. It was 5 o'clock, and I was coming up one end of the road. He was coming up the other, but he was driving, so he got to the house a good 10 minutes before I did. So he was in the house. I come in, still in my school uniform, school sack, and all that, and he turns around. And he says, "Make me a cup of tea." And I turned around. I said, "Make it yourself." And I went into my room. He came in and he beat the living daylights out of me.
Oh
Oh
no.
my
You know,
God.
and it was just like, and then my mother came in from work, and all she turned around to my father was, "Make sure you don't get her in the face," because they
Oh
didn't want the
God.
neighbors to know.
That's
You
terrible.
know,
I'm
Wow.
sorry that happened to you.
Yeah, I'm so
You know
sorry.
what? It was horrible, but it's made me the person I am today because you don't fuck with me today.
Right. There you go.
You
There you
know,
go.
I mean, I won't. Like I've had stuff happen, but my marriage broke down. I just laughed. You know, like but when I was a teenager, when I did develop the eating disorder, um, it was my control. As I think was said in the chat earlier, and I said it as well. It was the only thing that nobody could force me to do, and I was able to hide it for 2 years before my parents realized. And it was only because I got sick in school, and the principal called them. And how important was I? Like my school was 17 miles away from the house, right? And that's just because of where we lived. So it was a school bus that we'd have to get, but there was only one school bus a day. So they told my parents, and my parents' response was, "Well, there's nobody, just tell her to get the school bus home." And the principal was furious with them. She's like, "This child is sick. You need to come and collect her." And they
Yeah.
wouldn't. And I had to sit in the principal's office from 10 o'clock in the morning until 4 o'clock that afternoon before the school bus was able to take me home. And then the
Ugh.
first thing I got was a rap across my head to say, was I trying to embarrass the family by my behavior?
That's
Yes,
terrible.
And it
it's
was only
so prevalent, and still people think that today because they don't know about it because nobody talks about it. So
exactly like you know, and that's why I always say, like, you know, as I said, I went through that. And then I was married for 2 years. Thankfully, he left. You know, it was Christmas Day years ago, but it was the best Christmas present I got. And after that, I remember going to therapy again because I didn't want to go flipping. And I was in a group, and this one woman came to me and she said the most, and it's something I'll always hold in my heart. Like this woman now had been abused as well, DV and scars and all that. And she said to me, she says, "You know what?" She says, "I actually feel sorry for you." And I said, "What do you mean?" She said, "Well, at least people can see my scars. They can never see yours."
yeah,
And she said, and that's a lot of people think, if they can't see the scars or they can't see the bruises, then it doesn't happen. Like
yeah, but
Sometimes the one
it
you can't
does.
see, the ones you can't see are worse than the ones you can.
exactly.
Absolutely.
And
Yep.
that's what the woman said to me. She felt sorry for me. And I was shocked and taken aback. But it's something I'm not ashamed to say it, and I never would be ashamed. And anybody, and if, as I said, if I suspected anybody, I don't care. If I would say it to I would report, I would say it to you if I thought you were hurting yourself, and I went, and if it turned out you weren't, I'd rather you never speak to me again and know that you were safe
Yep,
Yeah.
than keep my mouth shut for fear of losing your friendship.
I agree.
Absolutely. And you know, the people that you say is absolutely right, that people don't see the scars. They don't see the eyesight loss. They don't see the teeth breaking down. You know, they don't see what's being done to the inside of the body, the low blood pressure. They don't, you know, the heart issues that happen, enlarged hearts. You can't see that stuff. And those are all
Exactly.
things that happen.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like you don't know how many times. Nobody knows how many times I've cried myself to sleep at night over the years.
Hmm.
Not in recent years, because I'd be damned, you know, if anybody. Like nobody is going to make me cry. Like I'll cry at a movie, you know, but that's it.
I
No
cry at the
human
drop
is.
of a hat.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I used to, because it was aimed at me, but you know, like after my ex left, like I had cut out my family at that stage, and I cut out him, and I did a big thorough clean of my life and left a lot of people. I dropped a lot of people I'd gone to school with, because I just felt, and the therapist had said to me, you need to surround yourself by people that have your back and
Yeah.
make you feel better and make you
Yeah.
feel like you are the center of their world. And that's the way I am. And it's not that I have to be the center of everybody's world. Like my friends are the center of my world. My children are my they're on a pedestal for me. But my friends know that I would do anything for them, and I know that they would do anything for me. And that's the way you need. They said, like, you need to surround yourself by people that make you feel good.
Yeah. All right, y'all. I gotta go. But thank you so much, and hopefully we can. I'll be on panel again if you want. And
Yes, absolutely. It's been great. It's been fun. Thank you
Thank
so much
you.
for sharing your experience.
Absolutely, I really appreciate it. If it can only help one person, it is worth it. I do it every day just to help one person with this, horrendous
And you know what? The
disease.
thing
So,
is, that one person that you may help today is going to go on and help somebody else
Somebody
tomorrow or
else.
next
Yep.
week.
yep.
So it's like that movie years ago. Remember, Pay It Forward.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's like that, because even I was telling somebody, I remember years ago, my daughter was only 2 at the time, and it was Christmas Eve, and at Christmas Eve at home, the stores close from at 3 o'clock and open the day after Boxing Day, which is the 27th. And so shops and everything, I was getting the last of the food bits and all that. And I was getting a taxi home. And as I got there, there was a woman there, but she was told she'd have to wait an hour before a taxi would be available. So I asked her, I said, listen, where are you going? And she told me, and I said, well, that's only 10 minutes from me. So why don't we get the taxi to my house? We'll get off, and then you take it from there. So that was fine. And then, so this was 16 years ago. And no, it was 12 years ago. And then 3 years ago, my daughter had gotten stuck somewhere, and she called and she was upset. And this woman said that she would drive her home and everything. And as the woman did, now I didn't know this woman from years ago, but as the woman came into my driveway with my daughter, I realized it was the same woman from years ago. So unbeknown to that woman, like I had done her a favor years ago. And then later on, 10, 12 years later, she did my daughter a favor. So everything, when you do it, like I always think, like if you do good today, it'll come back to you later. That's the way I think.
Absolutely. Okay, JJ's dropped out, but thank you so much. Everybody thank JJ so much for coming and talking about this.
Thank you, JJ.
But it's a huge, it affects people that you would never think. I'm going to eat dinner. I'll be back if you're still online. This is what I'm thinking, because I slept a lot today. It's been rainy and icky. I'm thinking I'll end this one just so it's not like a 5-hour live, but I'm not done talking. So I want to make a whole new stream, maybe. I'm going to do a little bit of looking around. So maybe in 30 minutes, I'll go ahead and schedule it. We'll do another live, and it'll be a whole different subject. We'll maybe talk about Katie Joy, what she's doing on her IG, or if anybody's talked about me today, whatever. I would like to say something that's been on my mind for a week, and I haven't said it, and I'm not going to say names. There's been a lot of tension in this community between me and people. I would like to say that some of the you know how some people react and they're reactionary. I used to be one. I still am, but I'm not as reactionary as I used to be. I do feel like maybe some of the reactions that have been put on the tube the last week are not as much reactions to what they're reacting to as to maybe they're just having a hard time or going through some shit in their real life.
True.
If you know what I mean. So even though they're not a fan of me, they don't love me, whatever, I feel like the reactions sometimes, just like mine used to be, my reactions used to be way more dramatic than they would have been had I not been going through stuff here at home. So I feel like some people who I used to care about, I still care about, but we're not friends, maybe going through stuff and it's making their reactions more in your face. You know, does that make any sense without me
Yep.
clarifying?
Absolutely.
So,
They,
I mean,
they're hurting inside, so their reaction
and I mean, I hope
is
I'm
to
wrong.
hurt back others.
I hope I'm wrong, but I do think some of the dramatic, as Janelle would say, I mean, I do think some of the stuff going on may just be there's a lot going on, and you take it out where you can. So if that's the case, my thoughts are with these people. But that little tiny chick, that she can get bent, like I said last night. That's all I gotta say. Never heard spot on words at Red. More spot on words. Thank you. So I'm going to end this one. I love JJ, and I thank you so much for being patient. We've been trying to get this stream together for well over a week, I think. And it was a mess, but I think it was good. It was great. And we're going to come right back. I'm going to end this one. I'm going to schedule the next one. I'm going to schedule it for like maybe 20 or 30 minutes out, so it'll send out the notifications. And we'll be right back. I hope you all join us.
Okay, night off.
If you have any ideas of, you got any links you want to share with me, go ahead. I'm going to check my DMs and we'll be back. And I love you all. Thank you for coming. I might put on some makeup for the next one. Who knows? Bye, y'all. Thank you, mods. I love you all. And yes, hurt people, hurt people. I've been there. I've been hurting people. I love you.